Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing? How's it going, Crispy?
Pretty good. How are you doing,
Good. We
LW?
we were off to a real banger of a start here. We had technical difficulties with echo problems, and now Gigi's on the stage. She's disappeared. No, she's MIA. She's been kidnapped by
Right.
somebody.
Yeah. We're going to
And
have to get the missing posters out for Gigi. Yeah.
let's look at the chat to see who showed up tonight. Nate the Great. What's up, buddy?
Nate.
T Skates. What's up, lady? Mr. Gandalf Smith. Yo yo. So 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 so.
It's all.
It's a good Clemson fan. B
Mm-hmm.
Bean, B Bean. First time I've seen you over here. How's it going? Who else we got? Got the same crew. Blah 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 blah. And there's So again.
Well,
So how are you doing
good.
tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. I worked all day and I'm here tonight with bells on. I'm happy to be here.
You sound like it. You sound like you're super stoked.
I am. I'm thrilled.
Okay,
I
calm
like
your.
this community. It's nice. It's a
That's
nice
good. I don't
community.
have to do anything this week. My kids, it's their first
Yeah,
week of summer break, so I'm gonna pick them
right.
up tomorrow and have them for about 4 days. I'm looking forward to that. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Do you have anything planned?
Not really. We're
Yeah,
just gonna play it by ear,
wing
but
it. Yeah,
we'll figure out something.
right.
What's
Like
up, Wanda E?
it's probably too early for like probably like the water stuff, water parks and all that stuff. But I'm sure. Do you probably have a good zoo or a good uh I don't know. Is it too early for like roller
No,
coasters and stuff?
it's hot as hell. Everything's
Oh,
a
that's
go. People
right.
are swimming. People are.
Yeah, you're 5 minutes from the sun.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. No humidity, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I got to mute for a second.
All right. Yeah, my uncle used to say all the time, like he was a political science professor for Arizona at Arizona University in Phoenix,
Hmm.
and he would come and visit and he would say like, oh my god, I don't know how you do it, it's so hot here. And it's like, bro, you literally live maybe 3.5 miles from the sun. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he would just, constantly complain about the humidity, that humidity was getting him. And I get it. I mean, it does kind of feel like you're in a laundromat if you're not used to humidity. Um, it does feel that way a little bit. But holy cow, like that Phoenix sun, man, I'd go and visit him and I I mean, forget about putting makeup on or doing your hair. You just look like a drowned rat. I mean, I just looked like shit the whole time I was there. I can't even put or like look at those photos from that family event. I mean, it was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It
We had
looks
a
like
sales.
somebody dunked me, you know?
Yeah, we had a sales guy move from Boston
Yeah.
to come work down here. He only worked here a year. He went through one summer, and he's
Yes.
like, "I'm moving back." I was like, "What?" He's like, "I cannot take this humidity."
The humidity he couldn't take or the heat?
The humid. I mean, it's both. It's 100 degrees plus like 90% humidity.
You've got humidity though? You do? I didn't
Yeah.
know you had humidity.
Oh, it's a swamp. Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
southeast Texas. Yeah, it's a swamp.
I was thinking that was just like how Phoenix is, where it's not there's no humidity there. That's what
No,
I thought.
it's like taking a shower as hot as you can take
Right.
it for 15 minutes, then
Yeah.
getting out, not drying off, and putting your clothes on.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I'm right here in the Midwest, so I got you. Uh, I'm literally dealing with the same thing, except it's not quite as hot. I enjoy, the one thing that I enjoy now, I've lived all over the United States. I mean, I've lived everywhere. So I lived in Florida, I've lived in LA, I've lived in I mean, I'm from Nashville, Indianapolis, Chicago, Atlanta, Cincinnati. Um, I don't know. I'm missing some other ones in there. But anyway, I've lived everywhere, but I prefer to live in a city that has four seasons. I like the four seasons. I like the change of seasons. I love when fall comes, I think that's nice.
We
I
have
mean, I
one and a
just like
half
that.
seasons.
Yeah. See, I prefer the change of seasons. Don't you think that's nice to have changes of
Yeah,
season?
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
do
like
too.
what is it? January,
Yeah.
well, probably late January, February, early March is our winter.
Yeah, but no snow, right?
Yeah, every once in a while.
I mean, listen, when I was in LA, like we had, I mean, my backyard, beautiful mountains, gorgeous mountains in my backyard. I mean, I was in Orange County and, but the smog was so thick that I think I only saw him like twice. That smog is so thick. It's crazy. Like we had smog alerts as a kid, like where we couldn't go out and play at recess and stuff because the smog was too thick for us to breathe. It's crazy. And
Yeah, it's
people
a
drive like 2 hours. Like my best friend, she drives 2 hours to take her kids to school. Like that's
it's a
nuts.
yeah, it's a ghost town
Yeah.
out in the streets with the kids in like July and August here. It's just too hot.
Yes, yes. I imagine like they would just get burned up, burned to a crisp.
Yeah, they run out and ride their bikes in the morning, and then they hightail it
Uh-huh.
inside at about 10 a.m. and then they come back outside about 7, 8 o'clock when it's a little bit cooler.
Oh yeah, the kids here. Like I have a fridge in my garage and I just keep it with a bunch of like popsicles and then like those little jugs of juice or like those high C packs or whatever. And then the neighborhood kids just come in and out of that garage like all damn day.
Hmm.
So because I mean I don't even have little kids anymore, but I help those kids get on and off the bus and stuff. But instead of them coming in my instead of them running through the house, I've got that fridge in the garage and that works out nicely. So I mean, I
Well,
mind my own business in the neighborhood, but the bus stop is like right in front of my house, and so I feel bad like when it's raining or snowing.
yeah.
So I take them inside.
Well, what we're going to talk about is
Oh, yeah.
the last a couple times in TF show. Maybe it was Gutters. I don't know, but a couple times like the death, like last night, the death penalty came up, and
Oh man, we had
so
like a
that
backstage. We had like a backstage whole thing. What was it last night?
yeah, that was last night.
Last night,
I
yeah.
stayed up way too late for that.
Yeah, but we were all like I mean the poor person like we it was like what four of us against one.
Yeah, it
And
was,
yeah,
yeah, it was fun.
it
I'll just say
was
that.
it
But
was wild.
I was just looking, all the stuff in the news, and I know you keep up with the Karen Reed trial, and
Yes.
I keep up with stuff too, and like, I was just saying we'd chit chat about that. Actually, have a subject for once on this show instead of just
Yeah. Well,
yapping and
I
talking
enjoy
over
that
each
about
other.
you. Yeah. I enjoy that about you because you will talk with me about true crime and I mean I love trials and I love all of that. But yeah, and I think I
There's,
got you hooked on the Karen Reed trial, right? Like I
yeah, I really
I
don't get
reeled
into
you
them.
in.
I really don't get into them if it's just like, okay, well, they're obviously guilty. I don't understand why people
Sure.
follow something that everybody knows like 100% they did it. But that kind of stuff is interesting because you see how fucked up the justice system is, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and how dirty cops are. But And
Yeah.
there's another one I've been keeping up with. A lot of people in Austin think that there's a serial killer, but the cops refuse to look into it.
Oh, you're kidding. They don't want to incite, they don't want to like the panic. They don't want the public to panic about a serial killer. But I want to know all about that. Like what's going on?
Well, I've lived in Austin before. It's Lady Bird Lake. It's right there in the downtown. It's really beautiful, beautiful city.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of bars, different. There's Sixth Street in Austin and all these party areas.
Mhm.
But it's Rainy Street. Um, that's really close to the lake there that runs through. It kind of looks like kind of goes through the kind of around the city under the bridge and stuff like that.
Oh
But
my god, is it the smiley face killer?
yeah, that's what everybody's saying.
Is it?
In
Yeah.
in the last 2 years, 11 dudes and two women have
Oh, it's
okay. And I've
yeah.
actually been on this Rainy Street where these bars have actually eaten at a taco truck, so I know exactly
Uh-huh.
what they're talking about.
Yeah. Were they gay men?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the smiley face killer. And they all the police for whatever reason, that's like a not one serial killer. It's like a that's that's a group of them. That's like that there it's not just one of them. It's like it's a bunch of people and they are doing it under that smiley face thing, and the law enforcement will, I mean, they refuse to acknowledge that it's happening, and it's like the statistics of it are nuts. Like there's so many in Chicago. There's even cases in London and stuff as well, but it's always
Well,
gay men. Yeah, it's gay men, and it's always by the water, and then they say, oh well, they were drunk and they just fell in the water.
you're exactly right. Hold on, that's funny you mentioned the
Hmm.
Chicago thing. These cases, I don't know if it's that park. I know there's a bunch of parks in that area, but I know it right there at Rainy Street. But yeah, so it's funny you mentioned Chicago because this lady was making the connection when there's like a cluster of these that happen. Okay, so right at the river there, and there's this Rainy Street that kind of runs to the river,
Hmm.
and along the bank, it's pretty. It goes on for miles. This
Yeah.
lake, you know, but
That's what all of them drop into. They all drop
it's
into those like
it,
little streams that go around the whole city or
right,
go around a park. Yeah.
but it's within this 1 mile stretch
Stretch.
by Rainy Street, right in front of Rainy Street,
Hmm.
and they all end up dead right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good. Well, one kid, I can't remember what city that was, but one kid, his parents heard the whole thing happen to him because he was on the phone with his parents when he got attacked.
Mm.
And they heard the whole thing, and it was awful, but it's crazy because they're gay men. A lot of them are not out of the closet necessarily, but they're going to these gay bars, and then they come out and they're drinking. But it is the happy face. Dr. Phil did even a show on this,
Yeah,
on the happy face killer, or the
but
smiley face killer, whatever.
the cops just refused to, and all
Yeah, they
the
yeah.
family members, like this one guy tracked his brother died right there, and they
Hmm.
said he was drunk and he just fell and
Yep.
drowned.
Right.
So his
It's
brother was like, "Let me know about the case, whatever." So he got the video footage of him going in the bar. He walked
right.
in the bar fine, and he got his credit card information or in what he bought at the bar. He bought 3 drinks, and the guy was like, "My brother's a tank. Like
Right.
he can
Right.
drink like 20 beers and not even be that drunk." He's like, 3 drinks, and he watched the video of his brother stumbling out like all woozy. So
Oh, they think he
he
got
thinks
slipped something.
that that's how they do it is they slip them something and they
Hmm.
get people who they know walk there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. A couple of years ago, in Nashville, there was a fraternity party. I can't remember the young man's name, but it was a fraternity weekend where they all went to Nashville for it. And this beautiful boy, was drinking at one of the bars, and I guess he got kicked out of the bar and was supposed to be going back to the hotel, but it looked like he got lost and he went missing. Everybody was looking for him, and they were able to, downtown Nashville, it's all clubs, right? And so they were able to track him with the body cam, or not body cam, but just like the different clubs that had the cameras out, were able to track him, and he walked past a police officer. I mean, at one point he like walked into a pole, and he looked like he was, doing okay when he was walking, I guess. But there were witnesses that said that they thought that he was drunk. There was like some homeless people that asked him if he needed help or something, but he went right over to like the embankment, like where the lake is, and he
Mm.
rolled into that lake. He fell, and they found his ID and stuff a couple of weeks later, and then they found him in the water. And I guess like I could see that happening, where I think he must have like lost his footing, and then rolled down like a little bit of a ditch, and then rolled into the water, I guess. But he also didn't seem to have a shit ton of alcohol in him to be that wasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, for a fraternity kid, you would think, but I think there might have been, they didn't really say, but I think there might have been substances on board with that alcohol, because there's no way that with his credit card bill, unless somebody like slipped it to him.
Right. And I mean, I've lived in Austin, and I mean, there's always been. I mean, it's
Yeah,
University of Texas. I mean,
sure.
it's like an enrollment of like 65,000 kids or students.
Right.
So it's not like it's a like just all of a sudden in the last couple of years, just
Yeah.
drunk kids don't know how to walk anymore.
No,
It's
they
kind of
don't. No. Oh, you should see Misdemeanor Molly. She's terrible too. I'm like, oh. But they
Well,
have this nail polish now. They have nail polish where you can put your finger in the drink and it'll turn a certain color if somebody like messed with your drink, if there's that
hmm.
drug in your drink. And then they sell like these little like scrunchy things for over your drink or whatever. I don't know, but they do have this nail polish that turns a color.
Well, I was listening to this lady about the Chicago part.
Mm-hmm.
She was tracking the ones in Chicago where just these people end up dead in the lake, and they just say, "Oh, they slipped and fell."
Yeah,
But-
there's so many of them. It's nuts in
Right, and
Chicago.
but
Mm-hmm.
she did she tracked them out, and they were like spaced out. There'd be like a cluster of like four
Mm-hmm.
over a few months period in Austin. Then there was a break, and then there was like four that would happen in Chicago. And
Right,
then there was a
right.
break, and it would go back to Austin. There'd be another dead body. Then there was a break, and then it'd be Chicago. None of them were around the same time.
Mm-hmm. And they
It just
used
goes
to
back
put
and
like
forth, back and
they
forth.
used to, yeah, they used to put like a spray paint smiley face, on the like concrete or something, and that's how that became the smiley face killer. There used to
Right.
be like a smiley face next to all these, victims. But I just don't buy it. I don't buy that these young men that are just walking out of a bar, and they just what they I understand how water can look, it can look like land, especially if you're in the car, that little girl that went missing in California, uh in what was it, Truckee, what was her
Yeah.
name?
I don't know.
um well, she went missing. She was at a big outdoor party, and she was leaving. Everybody was looking for her for a few weeks, and then they somebody pulled up like the weather camera or whatever, and you can see her car, and she just drives straight into the water, and just her car just goes sinks right down. Don't you remember that case? Because the YouTubers went and found her car. What was the name of the YouTubers that
Mm.
found her car? Shit. I can't think of that. It was a group of dudes that went out and they had all this equipment and stuff to find these missing people, that a lot of them were in water. They had like the sonar equipment and stuff like that, and they had a lot more equipment and a lot more experience than any of the police. Policemen don't have that kind of equipment handy.
Mm.
And so they were, doing really well with finding these, or solving these cold cases. They were finding people, and they found her. However, like, he ended up getting in trouble for like some weird shit with kids or something. What was that? Oh God, it's at the tip of my tongue. I can't think of the name of the YouTubers. But so that was the end of them. But they were really big. They were on national, they hit a national spotlight and stuff.
Mm.
But because the police went out there and looked, over and over and over, and they missed her car, and these people went out there and first try. They just went out there and you could almost see the damn car like from an aerial view. But yeah, I mean, right in the middle of the water, her car, unfortunately she just drove straight into it. She was drinking, but she was a kid. She just graduated high school, and she was on a graduation party. And I think she had a scholarship. It's always those really smart kids too, the ones that you don't want anything to happen to, seems to happen to them, like these really good ones, smart ones.
Well, you're talking about the police. They didn't have that stuff. And that's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of I guess that's really the theme of all of these things is that the police work is so shitty. Like everybody in
Mm-hmm.
Austin, I know a lot of people that live there. Joe Rogan is there. I mean, he
Mm.
mentions it all the time on his
Mm-hmm. I've
podcast.
seen it. Yeah.
They're like, yeah, there's totally a serial. Like everybody knows it's a serial killer, like
Yeah.
except the police. They're just like, nah, they just dropped. They just fell down.
Yeah, the police, they I don't know if they just don't want to admit that, but it's not one serial killer, it's a group of people, obviously, that are doing this. Um it's strange to me, but they don't have that kind of equipment, and then they also just don't have the kind of passion to solve that. Police officers don't get like a bonus for solving crimes or anything like that.
No,
They should, though. They should get some kind
no,
of incentive.
no, 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 no. They'd be throwing everybody in jail for something.
Well,
Fuck
they do
that.
anyway.
I know, but oh man, I mean, a lot of them already plant evidence, but man, you put a
God,
financial thing, man.
I was,
They've been
yeah,
throwing heroin in everybody's car they pull over for
right.
running a stop sign.
I was watching Explore with Us earlier today, and I saw like the worst case ever. They're chasing this woman for like menacing. They're not even supposed to do these high speed chases. It's like, why are you chasing this person? Like, you can get them as soon as they run out of gas or they get off the exit. Like, what are you doing? Like, putting everybody in danger. But anyway, they chase this woman who's in a pickup truck, right? And the cop stops right on the railroad tracks. Okay, and they get her out of the car, they put her in cuffs, they don't even know her name or anything. She's like, what am I getting in trouble for? It was apparently like a road rage situation. And so they cuff her and they put her in the back seat of the cop car, and they're going through her car because the other lady had reported that there was a gun involved or something like that. So they were looking for a weapon or whatever, and all of a sudden the cops were like, oh my God, and here's the train coming, and this train goes right into this police car, plows right into the police car with the girl handcuffed in the back seat. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah,
And then
crazy.
these cops, they got like fired or whatever, but then that they just go and apply it at a different in a different county.
Yeah,
That shouldn't be allowed.
there's a cop in Florida a few years ago. No, more than a few years ago, but he was got caught planting drugs on a lady.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he fucked up. He thought he was flipping his camera off,
Oh
but
yeah.
his body cam was already off, so he flipped it on. So
Yeah.
he recorded. This lady's just distraught, like, what? I don't do drugs, but
Mm-hmm.
he filmed himself with his body cam, going to his trunk, getting the drugs out, and taking it to her car.
Right. I can't believe you said that because also on Emu, I watched where it was 3 cops that had to like perform an eviction notice or whatever. And these cops, that's exactly what happened. This girl thought she flipped the body cam footage off and really she turned it on. And
Mm.
they were going through this lady's house and they were stealing everything in the house. They were stealing her sunglasses, her AirPods, all this shit, and they're putting it in their uniform. And all 3 of them got arrested. These police officers for doing that, you know. And I mean, like, way to throw away your whole career for some sunglasses and AirPods, but you know,
Yeah, and I think that cop, they went back and looked at all his, like, he had like 100 people he arrested for having drugs in their car. So I think just by default they were like, well, they're just, since they went back and looked at all these cases and they were like, we'll just let them all out because we don't know.
yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen with this Karen Reed trial with the person that just testified, um, that lied about his education and lied about, like, they don't even have that kind of, they don't even offer the degree that he said that he had at the college that he went to.
Mhm.
Yeah, you explain it.
No,
No,
you
you don't
explain
have to
it.
explain. No, you're better at it.
I haven't. I've been keeping it up. Which part?
Well, just explain the, like, what's going on and that. Just explain the whole thing, and then we'll
Oh,
talk
geez,
about what's the update. Just
you're
explain what you know.
so okay. Well, you're probably better, but
No, I'm not.
so a couple years ago, well, it's a cop who died, and he got the story. What the police claim is that his girlfriend ran over him in front of his friend's house, who are all cops and a ATF agent and all this stuff.
Mhm.
So her first trial ended in a mistrial because the way the judge worded how they're supposed to answer questions or whatever, something like that, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all weird shit. Like there was a blizzard, there's a bunch of snow.
Mhm.
They have video at the bar of a couple of this one cop who's having words with the guy who died. He was him and the lady were flirting with each other, even though she was with with the guy who got killed.
Mhm. They shared like a kiss too.
Yeah. So real, dirt bags, pretty much. I mean, she's probably kind of a. I don't know. They all seem
Maybe.
like dirt bags to me, but
Mhm.
she still shouldn't go to jail for the rest of her life for something she didn't do. But
No. But
and then
it's corrupt. Yeah.
the body has like it looks like the body was mauled by a shark on his arm,
Yeah.
and
It's
they're trying to say
dogs.
that
Yeah.
the tail light did it, and oh,
Mhm.
there's just
This
no evidence that she did it, and they're trying to put this lady away for like 80 years,
Uh-huh. Yeah. And I think like people are like, "Oh, you can't get that many people to lie." But it's they all know each other. They're all related in some way or another. But I mean, I wonder it absolutely he was in a fight. I mean, he's, his eye was busted. I mean, it's he was in a fight.
He
And it
probably
looks
got fucked up. To me,
yeah.
what happened is he probably got fucked up in the house fight. The dog attacked him. He
Mhm.
left. He was walking, and he probably passed out and hit
That's
his
what I
head.
think. Yep.
And they didn't even know he was out there either. But
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I think that they didn't give a shit. I think that they set him up to go over there. And I think that when he went in there, I think that they, got into that fist fight. And I do think that he left and he he was drinking, and I think he was hurt really badly, and just, but such suspicious circumstances. They sold the house immediately. That house had been in their family for generations. They took a big giant hit on the house. They redid the basement, which the basement floor was already, they redid that 2 years ago, and then they redid it again before it was sold.
And they got rid of
The
the dog immediately.
the dog went that they rehomed the dog immediately, and it was a former police dog, that had also bitten others in the past. But they rehomed that dog. Tomorrow they're going to have a dog expert. That's like, I don't know, some kind of if you Google what dog, like a dog attack looks like, and there's a picture on Google of an arm of what a dog attack looks like, and then you look at his arm, it's identical, looks like exactly, because those dogs are not taught to like bite down, they're taught to like bite and then like pull.
Right. And it's just common sense. Like the dude is probably my size. He's like 6'1", 220.
6'1", yep, that's exactly, or 180 or something like that, or I don't know.
But, just a solid size dude.
Solid dude, yeah.
In a snowstorm, blizzard with feet of snow, a car backing up at 20 miles an hour is not going to kill. It's not going to make somebody look like they got into a knife fight. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right.
It's just not. It makes no logical sense.
Well, and this judge is so biased. I mean, I've never in my life seen anything like it. This judge has has not ruled every single objection for the prosecution. She doesn't let the defense even finish. She'll just tell the defense, like, okay, we're done now. Like, while he's still like questioning witnesses, like she does not give a shit. And apparently there's been so many calls, and there's people are outraged by this judge. But then catch this, the other day, last Wednesday, she dismissed court a little early because she got the Woman of the Year from like the bar association.
Mm-hmm.
And it's here everybody's thinking she's gonna get in trouble, and she got Woman of the Year. Like, these people are just they're just fucking with, they're literally making fun. They're just like looking at people's faces and like, haha, like they don't even care. They don't even care what the optics look like at this point.
Yeah, that shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. What's up, Mr. Duggar?
Hi,
What's up, brother? Hi there, girly girl.
Gutters went for a drink, and we haven't seen her since.
She couldn't stop talking in the backstage while we figured out technical problems, and then as soon as the show starts, she was kidnapped.
She got a new computer though, so she might just be trying to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, figure that out.
Hey Gandalf. Hey, hi darling. Hi Wendy. I'm just saying hi to everybody. Say hi to me. So, what are y'all talking about up here?
We gotten some arguments over the last couple of days on, well, not arguments. They're talking about the death penalty and who believes in it, stuff like that. So we're just talking about some of the, things that are happening, like the serial killer in Austin that nobody says is, or everybody knows it's a serial killer, but the cops don't say it's not. And, just stuff like that.
Current event trials and stuff like that. But
how shitty police work is.
Yeah, for sure. We were talking last night about the death penalty, and Fools has a different just belief in he believes in the death penalty. I do not believe in the death penalty. I think that, yeah.
My policy is you kill someone, we kill you back.
Yeah. A lot of people.
You rape a kid, you die.
Well, that doesn't happen enough, but
You know,
yeah, I think that honestly, we really need to do something about that because those people are not, I mean, those people do a little bit of time and then they let them right back out and they are not, there's no cure for that. They just reoffend. And
I
yeah,
mean, I would be for it in theory, but I'm just not for it because our justice system sucks.
you
There's
yeah,
know.
there's too many innocent people.
I mean, it's got to be a no doubt. There can't be
right.
any doubt. You know, you got 4 or 5 people saying, "Oh yeah, we seen him do that shit." You know, I mean that guy there ought to get a quick line to the front. Get him out of here. Why don't pay for another breakfast for that rotten son of a bitch.
Well,
But you
here's
got
the,
somebody that's a serial freaking killer.
uh-huh.
They'll go around just killing people, and you know he is, and he confesses to it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck life.
Yeah.
Why is he getting to enjoy what little bit of life, sniff air? As miserable as he is in prison, he's still happier to be alive than the people that can't be happy to be alive because he killed them.
Yeah, but do you realize that it costs more money? It costs more money to execute them than it does to house them their whole lives.
No, not
Um,
really. You
yeah, it
just
does.
no. You turn that job over to Mister Duggar, and I'll use the same rope over and over and over again.
Well,
All
now
right.
what's happening is they can't get them to sleep. They can't find a vein, and they feel like it's
I don't want them to
cruel
go
and
to sleep. They
unusual.
don't get a mask or nothing.
Right.
In fact, I'm gonna click the rifle at them about 3 times just to scare the shit out of them before one actually goes
Mm-hmm.
off. Them
Well, I
some
think
bitches
it's
don't need to be treated like humans anymore because they're no longer in the human right space.
mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
fucking they're animals. They need to be put down.
Yeah,
Well,
but here's what happens though. That'd
yeah.
be I guess good in theory if they did it immediately, but they have the appeal process. These people live for fucking 40 years in prison and then they put them to death.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Eh,
And because
you
the
know,
appeal process never ends and it costs millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. And it's an immediate appeal. They don't just, as soon as
Well,
they get convicted, it's immediate. It's an automatic appeal.
I don't want anyone to be put down that doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I stipulated when you got 3 or 4 different witnesses, not just 1 or 2, but 3 or 4 different witnesses pointing out, yeah, that son of a bitch did it. Or he comes up and confesses, I mean,
Yeah.
and you got all the stuff that said, yeah, it's his. We got the DNA and everything, his confession, everything. Put him on the front line. You know,
We just executed somebody a couple of months ago, and afterwards, the Innocent Project got their DNA results back, and he was innocent. He was saying he was innocent the whole time, and we executed him, and he was innocent.
well,
I it's
how do you even execute somebody if you don't know if his DNA was the right DNA?
Well, they did.
This day and
So
age, that's
I
weird.
know. Well, and it costs so much money to do these to get the DNA tested, but not only what's weird is the police are so ridiculous about it. Like people say all the time like we'll pay for it out of our own pocket, and they're like no, we can't give it to you.
but see,
Sorry.
that's the thing too, though.
Uh-huh.
Police will, I don't know how many times it happens where you just see the story, and then 5 years later, after the dude's or somebody's been sitting in prison, they're like, "Oh, we found out the police had this evidence and never told anybody,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
evidence it wasn't tested for DNA or whatever the reason, or witnesses weren't interviewed." Like, and I know Crispy, I'm not. She's gonna jump through the screen and slap me, but I'm not saying he's innocent. But like the Scott Peterson thing, the
Oh.
police interviewed like 20 people and didn't tell anybody until 5 years after the trial.
We knew that they interviewed that his sister-in-law has been on a social media. She's been just um, lobbying for this piece of shit. He
But
killed his wife. He literally was having an affair. He told that girl, he told Amber Fry that, like, oh, this is the first Christmas without my wife. She died. And just so happened that, she was alive or died right on Christmas
well,
Day.
I don't want to get into a big argument about that. But
Oh,
my only point
I
is that
hate him.
like Joe Rogan, Mr. Duggar, it goes the other way too.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was interviewing a guy who was set free from prison, and he was doing, oh, woe is me, what's up, Baker? Oh, you got so screwed and all this stuff, and tell us your story. And he was like, he turned into like an advocate for fucking whatever. Well, he ended up beheading somebody a month after he was on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know that Making a Murderer on Netflix, that was a great documentary, but that guy was convicted of a sexual crime and did like I forget, like 21 years in prison, and it was and then found out that, like, he didn't actually do this crime, and
I
he
hate to step away. I gotta let the dog in.
okay, you gotta let the dogs out. Woo. But yeah, he ended up getting out of prison after this, right? And then he sued the police department, and then I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years later, everybody, the whole county was celebrating this guy, and then I don't know, 3 or 4 years later, he ends up killing a woman, and now he's in prison.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that the police set him up. That's what he's been trying to say, but no, he actually did it. So, I mean,
Were you there?
I wasn't there. No,
Now,
sir, Mr. Duggar,
how can you 100% say that man did it?
because I've seen enough evidence and I've got common sense.
What
This.
evidence have you seen?
Oh, did you watch it, Mr. Duggar? Have you watched
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I
Yeah.
did. That's why I'm putting you in check, because I think your misrepresentation, what they actually pulled out, they had some uh, some circumstantial.
Circumstantial
Yeah,
evidence.
I can say I was
I
in,
knew. Yeah, it's okay.
but even anyway,
Stephen
uh,
Avery, that's his name.
nobody really put him on the scene.
Well, yeah, he
Nobody.
was on the scene. Like, it happened on his property.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying though, but nobody went. I seen him do it.
Well, his nephew said he saw him do it. And then,
I didn't hear nephew say that.
well, yeah, that's been like one of the biggest things because his nephew was kind of slow, but and I don't
Maybe the
necessarily.
nephew did it.
Well, I don't think the nephew did it at all. I think he's been wrongly convicted. I think it was just I think he did it. But they found her key fob in his bedroom with blood evidence on it. They found, he had a giant bonfire the night that, she went out there. That was the last place she went. She went there to get a photo of a car that was going to be for sale in the newspaper, and he had like a thing with her. He even called her work to make sure she was coming, that it was going to be that girl that came out there, that Teresa. So she came out there, and that's the last time anyone saw her. And then they found her car in that junkyard where they lived, and he had a big giant bonfire, and then they found her bone fragments in the bonfire. So I don't know who else would have done it,
Well,
and he was the only one there, him and his nephew. But and the nephew was special needs and didn't, like, literally, he didn't even, the police did him wrong, I think. But I think that Stephen Avery was yeah, and he did like mean things to animals. He was an animal torturer. He threw a cat on a bonfire, like on a
well,
live cat.
aren't we all guilty of throwing a cat on a bonfire?
No, we're not.
Ah,
No.
I came back at the right time. I'm back.
Mhm.
What a complete waste of time that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I let the
Mis-
dog out she wouldn't go pee. As soon as we walked in the door, she peed right at the doorstep on inside. That was fun.
Oh, poor
Her little
Susie.
nose would be hurting from getting rubbed in it, and she'd be sitting outside waiting for an owl to pick her up. She'd
An
Hey,
done
man.
owl.
What are you gonna do, man? Puppies are retarded.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, they're not. They're cute. They got little
No,
puppy breath.
they are retarded. They are retarded. She's talking about some guy throwed a cat in a bonfire, and I said, haven't we all been guilty of throwing a cat in a bonfire?
No, we have not.
And just
I
for
haven't done
everybody's
that.
information, I've only done it 4 or 5 times, so
Oh,
don't look
shit.
at me and judge.
But that's a
Right.
hallmark of somebody
No, I
that's
love
got.
kitty cats.
That's a hallmark of somebody that is capable of murder, is if they torture animals, and he certainly did. So I don't know, Mr. Duggar, but I think he's guilty. And I know that not everybody does, but I think he is.
You know what the big part about it is that I have to really make known? I don't care.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't care about them people. They're evil. You know,
yeah.
if they're evil, God is the judge. I'm not the judge. You know, all I can do is listen to the evidence, and if I'm forced to make a decision in court, then I got to. But other than that, what does it do to make my world any happier? Or you know,
Um,
and you know, you just got to pray for them and
mhm.
pray for the people around you. Hope to be protected from people like that.
Well, and I do always feel really badly for the perpetrators' family, because their families get shit on social media all the time. And because, just because a family member of yours does something terrible doesn't mean that you stop loving them. So, I mean, that doesn't stop a parent from loving their child. They can hate what they have done, but they
Yeah,
still love the child that they have. And so I feel like people are really hard on perpetrators' families, because they didn't do anything, and they didn't do it, and all they're doing is just, they still love their child. And I can't blame anybody for that.
yeah.
I would feel the same way.
And you don't think that making a murder thing is just a little weird, that a dude spends 18 years in prison for a rape he didn't commit because the
Mm-hmm.
lady identified the wrong person and
Yes.
admitted that it wasn't him. So he spends 18 years in prison, gets out, he wins a $32 million lawsuit,
Yes.
and right before they have to pay it out, they find a dead body.
Yeah. I mean,
Doesn't that seem weird to you?
it does seem weird to me,
And
but
it was that guy.
Yeah, and he's back in prison now.
Stephen Avery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. But I just went through that. I said, that was the last place she went. He called to make sure it was going to be her. He had a bonfire going. They found her key fob in his room with blood on it. I mean, they've really. You have to watch you have to watch some documentaries.
Yeah, I did. I saw the
Yeah.
I saw the key.
I'm just not into crime dramas. I like history and stuff, but crime dramas, just to hear the insane people that hurt other people, I find I'm just not fond of that. And
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell the boys in there talking about me throwing down pig barbecue smoker. Dude,
Oh.
Sunday was ridiculous. We threw it down. We took about $250 worth of meat and made about $1,500, and ate all we could eat and drank as much beer as we could and had a good time. But he cooked some pork loin. I got to give him one on this one. Cooked in strawberries and raspberries and all kinds of stuff. And then he made a sauce to go with it. Dude, you couldn't find that in a 5-star restaurant. I'm telling you, that shit was so good. And then my chickens turned out perfect, of course, and we sold them out. And we had sausage, a ham. We couldn't find any decent briskets, man. And the ones they had were just nothing but fat horns on them, and they were still wanted $6 and something a pound for them. So nah. And this is how bad they were. If we buy a $60 brisket and serve 3 meals off of it, we made our money back for the brisket.
Mm-hmm.
We would, I mean, just you're not going to you're not going to cook a bad piece of meat into a good piece of meat. Totally bad, So they were just slim, no picking. So, but we got the word out. We're looking for a steady guy to keep us in brisket. So I'd like to move the business up to 3-day sales for a couple of years and retire again. That'd be enough
Yeah,
to get me another boat and a good camper. You know what I'm saying?
sure. Speaking of pigs, wild hogs, they there was there was a lady that used to take travelers into her home, and she had like a wild hog. She had wild like a farm with
Oh
wild
yeah.
hogs or whatever. And then all of these people disappeared, these travelers, and she fed them to the wild hogs.
Oh yeah, they'll eat everything.
Hey,
All the bones.
they don't have to be wild.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if they were wild or not. She had them on her pig farm, but that's how she disposed of them.
Oh yeah, they'll
Apparently,
eat.
they eat everything but teeth. I guess like
Oh,
that's how
they'll
they
eat
found
them.
them.
They'll swallow them down. They'll just come out in the big dirt.
Oh, I see.
Excuse
Yeah.
my language. Outlaw, how's it going, Baker? What's up,
Hi,
boy?
Baker.
Nate the Great. He was wanting to come up here. No, Nate, you can't come up here as long as I'm up here.
I just wasn't dropping the link for the PBs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
That's one way.
Gutters. I'm sorry.
So that's one way to avoid it.
Yeah.
But I
Gutters.
don't know Nate's email, and I'm not posting my email in the chat
Right.
for everybody to send me
Right.
dick pics.
I've
Yeah.
got it
Well.
now. I'll send them for everybody.
Oh,
Um,
I got enough of them to go around.
but,
I
yeah,
bet.
I bet you
I
do. I
do,
bet you
man.
got a big old collection of honkers.
Oh God.
You have Twitter?
Like I'm I'm on Twitter, and then nobody wants those things, and they just pop up
Right.
for no reason at all, and you get just assaulted, you open up something and it's like, okay, all right. Like I don't even know who you are. Like you could have at least like said hello, something, but no, I just
But
get like
you never looked
just
at one of them
dick
and go,
pics.
"Oh, damn, maybe I do need to get
Nope, not
those."
ever. There's not a woman in the United States that's ever thought
I
that
agree. I
ever.
agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, and we get them all the time and for no freaking reason. We just like I bet you there's probably 10 of them waiting on me right now. Like they're just I'm so scared to go in some I like don't even open up some of this shit because it's just terrifying. Like I'm like, oh my God, I start to sweat. I have no idea who in the hell this is. And they've sent me a message and it's like, oh my God, I have no idea what's gonna happen here. I close one eye and, try and open it up and see. But and what kills me too, like, oh God, what kills me is like it will be the most disgusting piece of shit that sends them too, like with like stains all over his t-shirt and stuff, and he's got no pants on, and it's like, bro, really? Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Did you think I was gonna just, just
Yeah,
be delighted?
your
Just
reply's going to be like, "Oh, baby, thanks for
yeah,
sending that. What's your
So,
number?"
right.
so, so
Like,
what?
hey,
So what you're saying is, he dresses in a nice tux, he has a shot.
no, they don't have to be in a tux, but for
Mr.
God's
Douglas going to
sakes,
go
a
hit
clean,
the ironing board right now.
yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be using that tide to get them stains out. You
I
know what
mean,
I
a
mean?
clean t-shirt for God's sakes, if you're gonna have good Lord, like take a shower, something. I mean, it just like what in the hell? And then I just always have the same response too. I always say like I say something sassy. I say something like um
Must be
send
cold there.
me send me send me a more handsome a more handsome a handsome dick or one with more one with more
And she
send me a
wonders why
handsome pic with more possibilities or more prospects or something. I forget what I say.
Then you want with more
Something.
character, huh?
and she
Yeah.
wonders why they send them to her. She's responding to them.
No, they never send it, but send anything back after that response. That's pretty much I ask them to like send some. I forget what I say, but something like where it's an
Oh, they're not
insult.
professional trolls if they don't get a
Mm-hmm.
response out of you, and then you come back with even bigger and better.
Yeah, I ask them to send me one with more, like, I don't know, just a more handsome dick with more 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 options or something. I forget what I say, but something kind of shitty. And then they don't bother me again. But I mean, I bet there's some waiting back there. I know there are. So yeah, anytime I go live too, I get them. It's like, oh,
There's well, she's not on Twitter anymore because they kicked her off, but she would take and it would be popular people, like super famous but popular on
mm-hmm.
Twitter.
Yep.
So she would just forward, like, post them, like who sent it and the picture of their dick.
Right.
And you would see
I'm
these
not
people
that mean.
immediately delete their account,
Of course, yeah. There's I'm in a group, I'm in a Facebook group, and it's hilarious. It's like I forget the name of the group, but it's basically everybody posts the weird shit that you get in your DMs, like what these dudes send you. And so there's a lot of dick pics, but also just like the weird, like nasty, dirty conversations that they're trying like get into, and just weird shit. And these girls are ruthless, man. They post all that shit, and then they post their name and their photos and stuff. And I'm here for it. I mean, I love like reading it. It makes me laugh, but like I'm not doing that. I don't do that to anybody. I think that's just like, I don't know. I don't have it in me to do that. But
Yeah, I've never got any dick pics, but
He wants them, young men.
not yet.
but I did. It's a guy who goes around YouTube. I'm not going to name his name, but I'm sure y'all have seen him around. It was like a year ago. I was on a Twitter space. We were talking about something, and he disagreed with me. It's kind of like a lot like last night, Crispy, except 10 times worse.
Oh, wow.
He was calling me every name in the book, and I was just like, okay, this guy's crazy. And I, cussed him out and quit. But my God, I got about 45 messages, DMs, just calling me every name in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like one after the other. It's probably 40 messages in there.
Nice.
Were they dick pics though?
No, he's just, calling me every name in the book
Yeah.
because I said something he didn't like.
I mean, I'm pretty nice to everybody, so like people usually don't, yell and scream at me. But I don't have those kinds of messages. Most of mine are just like sexual in nature. For no reason. I don't even try and put that vibe out, but
You need a computer lawyer to litigate some of these awful pictures.
nah.
Yeah, send him to Mr. Duggar. He needs to study it for the case.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
study out. Speaking of which, that I've been really into that P. Diddy that federal case right now. And that's crazy. They don't televise that or anything, so it's just reading. You're just reading like what the transcripts are in court. But he just, I mean, these workers that he just tortured them for no reason, just make them make them do all these stupid things, make them change their flights a million times. And it was constantly threatening to fire them if they didn't do this, that, and he's hitting them and all this stuff. But
Well,
the
my
girl,
question is, why didn't they quit?
well, yeah, that's the thing though, is he had them, a lot of people have been saying that, like, why didn't they quit? Why didn't the girlfriend leave? That kind of thing. He had contracts on them, and then as soon as they would leave, anybody that did leave, he blackballed them, and he
Literally.
made sure, yeah, yeah.
No, they got blackballed if they stayed.
But he no, he really did. He made sure that nobody hired them. They absolutely, the one girl hasn't had a job since she left because he made sure that nobody would hire her, and she's got like PTSD. She said that, she tried to work someplace, and she said she just she would read into every email when somebody would say like, "Hey, where are you?" And she just, they're just trying to meet her for coffee or whatever, and she just would start panicking because she's
That bitch trying to get.
traumatized.
She's trying to get paid.
Well, no, I mean, this isn't about getting paid. This is a criminal trial.
But
So,
you don't think they're gonna tax his account for civil lawsuits if they find him guilty? He's worth a lot of money. And did you hear that he's changing his last name?
yeah, he's changed
He,
his
he's going.
name.
He's
He's
going to.
Love.
Yeah, he's going to P Diddy Little Dick.
I mean,
Kind
he
of.
looks like shit. He's aged 1,000 years. He's gray haired, and he doesn't even look the
Nah,
same.
I saw people
Mhm.
say it. I saw a picture of that. He just not allowed to diet anymore.
Right, right, right. And he walked in there with the Bible. But
Oh yeah.
when you look at this girl that was with him for 10 years, and he gave her a 10 record deal, which is unheard of. People don't get 10 record deals. And he had no intention of ever putting any of her music out. So she was a 19-year-old girl, and she gets this enormous deal, and he absolutely used and abused her, but he had no he owned her. So not only did he owns the apartment, the cars, he's in charge of paying her. She has nothing. And not only that, if she tried to leave, she can't go out you know and work for anybody else because she's locked in for him for 10 records, which they never even got one record out in all those years.
Yeah,
And
the
he just
music
was, yeah.
music industry is just full of scumbags.
Well, yeah, he's one of them for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know. There's a lot of things that I'm wondering about, because I don't know if this jury. I'm hoping that this jury gets it, but I don't care what he did in his bedroom. I really don't. It's not for me. But if this is what they were doing in the bedroom, that's not my business.
So you
Um,
don't. So you don't order pallets of baby oil.
I don't. No, I don't. I never had a need for that. But yeah, I mean, nor did I ever, hire any male prostitutes to urinate on me either. But that was going on. So I don't know,
That's
but I mean, was it coercive control? Absolutely. And did he owned her. He absolutely owned this girl. When you're 19 years old and you're terrified, I mean, she literally was scared for her life because I mean, there's all kinds of deaths that surrounded P. Diddy, and everybody knew. I mean, he blew up that car for that one producer. Like, there's a million.
Uh oh.
you disappeared,
Can you hear
Crispy.
me?
Now I
Uh-oh.
can.
Oh, here I am. But yeah, he did a lot of these crimes that or hired somebody to do some of these crimes, because I think he's responsible for
Allegedly.
Biggie's death. Well, allegedly, my ass. I think he's done them. So, and that's my opinion. So, I don't have to say allegedly, that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it.
Or include, that's my opinion. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Protect
Well, thank you. I know you're the YouTube lawyer, but
me for LW and TF.
yeah. Oh, I'm not even. Oh, I can't even use you for
Well,
my legal needs.
you gotta come up with a retainer.
Well, all right, Mr. Duggar. I
How
got
many
about
dick pics?
75 cents.
How many dick pics will it take, Mr. Duggar? She's got a
Right.
lot.
I got a lot back here.
No,
I've even got some
you gotta
video.
look at mine and comment on them. That's all.
Oh no. No, no, no.
I never sent a dick pic in my life, although a few of my dick pics have got out on there.
Oh, I wonder how.
They were just amazed and they took pictures and shared,
I've even got some video back here, Mr. Duggar.
I call my shit Richard.
Yeah. Why is it? Listen, I've got
Why is
very
it we name them?
curious.
Because
No,
it's long for dick, Richard.
I wonder why some names, like first of all, how do you get Dick out of Richard? How do you get Peggy out of Margaret? How do you get a lot of these names? I just wonder like how how did that
Bob
happen?
out of Robert.
Right, Bob out of Robert. Yep, that was my daddy. I don't know. I don't know how these names came about, and
That we
especially
know that
Dick.
they are. We can use them in quite fascinating fashions and articulate manners.
But who calls their child Dick? I mean, I had an Uncle Dickie. Yeah, he was what? Like he was the bad uncle. He
Dick.
wa- he was in the boys' reform school with Charles Manson. He stole the family car when he was 14 and like stayed in army bases or whatever. He was gone for 18 months, the only car. He was a wild ass.
Check out Charles.
Yeah. Charles Manson was just like a real tiny little kid or whatever. I've seen like there's a photograph of my uncle and just the boys or whatever, and he's real little. But I think his mother was a prostitute in Cincinnati somewhere,
Yeah.
and then he was just institutionalized.
Chuck was a bad guy. He was a psycho.
I don't know if he was like. I think he was just he was just a manipulator, and he was
Oh
a
yeah.
hippie. And he did this, he had like a trick that he did with these girls. And that is that, first of all, one of the things is he would get them really high, but he would stay sober. That was one thing that he would do. And then he would find like something that would, like the one girl, she had some kind of like a hormone issue where she had a lot of hair on her body, like dark hair on her arms and stuff. And he told her to get undressed or whatever, and then he was just like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, like the hair on your body or whatever. Like he would take their insecurities and then he would just make that be the most beautiful thing about them, is whatever it was that they were insecure about. And so they just kind of like were enchanted by that, you know. That was some weird shit, that whole case.
Yeah.
That's what got me into true crime, was Helter Skelter. That book. I loved that book.
Yeah. What about serial killers have always kind of fascinated me. So I've read up on a bunch of them, like Ed Gaines and the lot of them, and the Son of Sam and all that. Some of them
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. He was fucking a crazy motherfucker.
Did you know he would after he killed those, nobody ever talked about this, but after he killed his victims, he had sex with their dead bodies.
Yeah, he was a necrophiliac.
I never heard that until way late in life. And they show his execution, like they show it. You can
But
see
she was
him.
still warm, from the sun. So.
Ugh, gross. That one lady, like the last one he did was at that beach or whatever, and he went back like days later and put lipstick on her and a bunch, like, I mean, can you imagine how badly that smelled? She was out in the sun like that, and he did that. I just, oh, good Lord. I
Yeah.
I didn't even know that about him. all these years.
That's what's so wild. There's been so many serial killers and stuff like that. It's just so wild about that. Like what I was talking about earlier
Mm-hmm.
in Austin and Chicago, that
Oh, it's
nobody.
everywhere, LW. That's like that happy face killer is literally he's hit everywhere. And there's even like a really good like documentary that makes you think that it's really happening. Like I mean it's crazy. I
Because
think it's called the happy face killer.
and not only it's all of a sudden in Austin, Texas, 13 people die in the same spot
Yeah.
just because they're so drunk they fall in the river or fall and hit their head and roll in the river.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
they're all dudes between like 20 and 35.
Yep.
They all have dark hair, and
Yep.
most of them are
Tall and thin.
gay. like it's wild that the Austin police are like, oh, it's just a coincidence.
Not at all. And then I'm not even kidding, like I think 60 Minutes did something years and years ago, and they showed like London had the same shit's going on in London. So I mean it's
All over the
universal.
world. All over the world.
Yeah, all
There's,
over.
there's the Transylvania motherfucker, the Vlad, he was a serial killer. I mean, it's a lot of people, that you wouldn't suspect. Like Dennis Rader. He went to church. He hung out with his wife
Mm-hmm.
and two kids.
Mm-hmm.
He was a code enforcement officer,
Mm-hmm.
and he was, and they tricked him. They tricked him big time. He was a smart guy, but he let his guard down one time.
Are you
And,
thinking of John Wayne Gacy?
no, I'm talking about Dennis Rader, the BTK killer.
Oh, yeah. Bound, tied, and
Bind, torture, kill.
yeah, bind, tortured, kill.
Yeah, he killed like 14 people, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he went ghost. He hadn't
Mm-hmm.
been seen in 10 years and stuff. And they were talking about him on a radio show. And next thing you know, they get a communication from the real BTK,
Mm-hmm.
and they said send a floppy disk of your demands of your manifesto or whatever. And he said, you can't trace me back, can you? On that, he goes, how the hell are you going to trace somebody back on a floppy disk? Well, it showed his name and everything where he did it at he made the manifesto or whatever what he wanted to say to him at his church,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed last user Dennis Rader at the
What an
church,
idiot.
and they got him. And then to listen to that guy confess everything and how he went about choosing a victim, his
Mm-hmm.
his takeout kit, his escape routes, what they usually do when you confront them,
Right.
and that's why he started carrying a gun because the one guy's kid almost, and actually he was one of the survivors of that one family uh, because he had a gun, and
Mm-hmm.
he broke loose and got away. And when he realized he got away, he took off. But
Yeah.
then that
Yeah.
went dormant for like 10 fucking years, and and it was a plan all along. We were online talking about that guy, and we was all trying to figure out where he was at, if he was still alive and all that. And I'm really serious when I say this. I believe he came into our chat one time.
Oh no.
I swear.
Why do
And
you say that?
it's this guy. We had a creepy feeling about him. Just how he was asking questions and shit. Never, and never had a input. But it was all questions, like he was fishing for answers. And
Yeah, but
but
he's in jail,
then,
right?
no, no, no. This is just before they caught him,
Mm.
and then they caught him. It was big breaking news, and they caught that son of a bitch. And I
Yeah.
go, you know what? I think we might have just helped fucking capture BTK.
Mm,
So that was pretty cool.
that's crazy. There's this guy, Israel Keys. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. He was a serial killer that he was pretty brilliant on how he did things, but he would go and take his kill kits, right? And I guess he traveled around with work and stuff, but he would take the kill kits and he would go and bury the kill kits somewhere, like all over the country. And so and then, he would go back years later and dig up the kill kit and then kidnap somebody and, do away with them. And and yeah, and they didn't catch him for the longest time, and then they finally got him. And so he was negotiating with the police, and he was like, I'm not going to give you everybody that I killed, I'm not going to give you. I think he had like 12 or something, or 21 or 12, I can't remember, but he was saying that he would give them all of the names and where they are and stuff like that, but they had to work with him, where they had to give him whatever it was, like a PlayStation or whatever the hell his demands were. Every time they met with them, he was going to give them another name and another name. And he did that for a little while, like I don't know, a couple of months or whatever. And then just out of nowhere, he just offed himself and didn't leave any note or anything on where the other people are, or who they were, or whatever. So, which was really just a asshole move, honestly.
Well, look at Gary Ridgway, who was the
Yeah,
Green
the
River
Green,
Killer.
yeah, Green River Killer.
That dude, he was so unfeeling about him.
Yeah.
And he was another one that just kind of mattered of fact about how he was snuffing these bitches.
Mm,
He went after hookers and stuff.
His daughter is in true crime. His daughter is a reporter.
Yeah, you know. And I remember when they caught the Unabomber dude,
Yeah, I remember that too.
you know, out of the blue.
Well, his sister-in-law turned him in.
Yeah, his sister-in-law and brother, his
And
brother.
brother, yeah. They were like, because she brought it to the brother's attention and said, this sounds like Ted, because I guess like he weirded out or
Yeah,
whatever and quit using electric and, went and lived in the woods like a
yeah.
weirdo.
He
But
he recognized the handwriting
yeah, the sister
and
did
the way he used
certain words.
words and how he spelt certain words.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a chance in a million. They even caught that guy.
Yeah. But you can tell how people write and stuff. I mean, I can certainly see there's certain people in the chats, even like if they're on an alt account, I can tell who it is because I can tell how they write, you know. I don't know. You can pick that stuff up, I suppose. And he was like he wrote all the time, like that Unabomber. Did you ever read that manifesto?
Yeah.
Jeez, old Pete's, man. Whatever. How did they electrocute him or no? Is he still
Who's that?
around?
No, Gary Ridgway.
No, Ted Kaczynski, the
No,
Unabomber.
he's locked up. He got life. They didn't kill him.
Oh, really?
He's locked up in Colorado, super max,
Huh. Yeah.
along with a lot of pretty bad people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Colorado's got a prison over here. They take all the crazies with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't
We
know.
we really do need somewhere to put our people that are mentally ill. And
We
they don't necessarily need to be in a hospital, and they don't necessarily need to be in a jail. Not all of them. And then
yeah.
also, like, we need someplace to put like teens that are going through mental illness, because
When
they don't need to be with adults that are criminals or mentally ill.
when,
But
you
it's
know
sad to put mentally ill people with criminals.
when they know you're a serial killer
Mm-hmm.
They got enough proof to prove you're a serial killer. They should go hang you by the neck until you're dead and not give you a sudden drop. Just sit there and let you strangle.
Well,
But that's now I got to ask forgiveness for that.
mm-hmm.
For wanting to see some, because I can't be. That's why I said a while ago, I try not to judge anybody because who am I to be the judge against another man's
Mm-hmm.
life? But if he's that horrendous, it's just the
But what if they're hearing
Lord
voices
in
and
me.
stuff?
Do what?
What if they are hearing voices? What if it's like a mental illness because
Will
where they're
you
hearing voices and stuff like that? Yeah.
will you hang them several times? That way you get all the voices too.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whether,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, like what's your opinion on that?
That was the big thing about the case of the son of Sam.
Mm-hmm.
The dog was telling him to fucking whack people.
Yeah, I think he's full of shit.
You know,
I don't think the dog was saying that. I think he was just trying to
you
fake
really
mental
don't
illness.
think the dog fucking talked him into it? I'm blaming the dog.
Nope. Nope, I don't. What do you
What
think, LW?
what happened? I just got back.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jesus.
If it wasn't the dog, it was the cat. I'm more suspect the cat than the dog.
I said, what do you think about like if you putting people to death that are mentally ill? Because we do that. You can't plead insanity. The only insanity pleas are very difficult to get, and it's just I don't know why people want to get them anyway because they are just put them in a hospital versus a prison. But I would think like being in with the mentally insane, criminally insane would be that's got to be horrible. But but I'm thinking that like the like how it is how they determine it is if they covered up their crime in any way, like if they, did anything to cover it up, that means they knew the difference between right and wrong. That means that they knew it was wrong and they shouldn't have done it. And so, therefore, they're competent to stand trial, they're competent to be convicted or executed. And I don't necessarily believe that they're all competent to be executed.
I mean, they're all crazy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
technically, I mean, to do shit like that, like Richard Ramirez,
Right.
that motherfucker was scary.
Yeah.
I remember my aunt used to watch all that shit about John Wayne Gacy and Richard. It freaked me out as a little kid.
Yeah. Did you ever notice there's like a whole bunch of killers that have been on game shows?
Really?
Yeah. He
Like
was
who?
on the dating game. Lori Vallow was on Wheel of Fortune.
Bundy was on the dating game.
No, that was Ramirez was on the dating game.
Bundy was too.
No, not
On a
Bundy.
bet a nickel.
Yes.
We gotta watch out for Dylan Mulvaney. He was on Price is Right.
Uh-huh. They've all been on game shows. Isn't that weird?
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. There's somebody else too, and I can't think who it is. Somebody else was on shit. It might be Price is Right. Come on down. Yeah, but Lori Vallow was on. She was on Wheel of Fortune. Mr. Duggar, are you looking up Ted Bundy to see if he was on the dating game? Because I expect that nickel. Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Is he looking that up?
Courtney Love's a serial killer. Was she on a game show?
Oh, wait. Okay, LW told me to watch this documentary called Soaked in Bleach. And I watched it, and now I think that Courtney Love killed Kurt.
So fucking obvious she did it.
1000%. I didn't know it.
It's okay to say it too, because people ask her all the time, because there's this whole thing. I think is Howard Stern asked her, like, what about all these people who say you killed Kurt? She's like, well, I can't sue anybody because my lawyer told me that I'm beyond libel, which means that her reputation is so shitty, nothing can hurt it.
Yeah. And and then especially were telling me, first of all, I don't think she did it. I think it was that lover she had that was living in the house. What was his name?
Oh shit.
Like her little, like, do boy, her dope boy.
Oh, the Cali guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's there's this guy. It's a really good podcast.
It's amazing. It's an
No,
amazing
there's this
one.
guy. He has interesting guests though. This guy's name is Matt Beal, Beall.
Yep. You sent that to me.
Yeah, he has cool people on there like Randall. I think Randall Carlson and a bunch of cool people. They talk about a lot of the stuff Fools and I are into, but he's funding it. Like he's funding a. And then there's this girl on YouTube that's been doing it too. They got the former police chief of Seattle. They all think that he did it.
The private investigator is like, the private investigator is sure of it. Yeah.
The private investigator that she hired turned on her because he recorded all her conversations. And, they have handwriting experts that say the bottom half of the suicide note wasn't his handwriting.
No, like she traced it. It's her entertainment attorney is the one that turned on her.
Right. Her own entertainment.
Yeah, her entertainment attorney was like, ah. And the idea that he was going to divorce her and she was going to be left with what? Nothing, right? But if he died, she got all of his royalties. And what did she get? LW? He was
worth $14 million when he died. The very next day, his whole catalog, she was worth $400 million.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the idea that he was in that attic or whatever, that little like crawl space area upstairs, and she just happened, like, since nobody found him, then she just happened to ask like the electrician to come over and fix the light in that attic, like as if that's a priority when your husband's missing.
He's he holds a record. He's the only guy to take 10 times the the lethal dose 10 times and shoot himself with a gun. He's the only like recorded case of that happening.
Yeah, that's true too. Like that he took that lethal dose of heroin and then shot himself very awkwardly with a shotgun. Like that's a very odd weapon to choose to off yourself with, you know. And then the dope boy, the do boy, wasn't he the guy that bought the gun too?
Right. The only information anybody has is shit that she said. Like first of all, the police never investigated it. That's the thing. They didn't even process the photos until 20 years later.
Right. They just came in and said, "Oh, it's a suicide." And
the cop showed up.
Got drugs. Yeah.
The cop showed up, said, "Oh, it's a suicide." They called it like no investigation, no anything. They just said it's a brand new
cop too, like one that was inexperienced that came, right?
Yeah,
that showed up at the scene.
Yeah, it's when you watch that movie and just you don't even have to do a really big deep dive.
No, like I thought she was guilty like 5 minutes in. Right. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's like a bunch of shit I didn't know. Yeah.
And this British guy did a documentary like in '95, and he was asking around about it. So he asked somebody, and they were like, "Oh, go ask this guy El Duce. He's in some fucking shitty metal band or whatever." Yeah. So he shows up to El Duce's house and was like, "So we hear you know about what happened?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, Courtney Love offered me 50 grand to whack Cobain."
Oh God!
And he was like, "I couldn't do it, but I would have if I had the time."
And she was such a gutter slut too, you know.
And that guy ended up beheaded by a train 2 weeks after the interview.
Shut up.
Yeah.
What did he got beheaded by a train?
Yeah, the story is he got drunk and went and laid down on a train track.
Yeah, because that's usually what happens when you get drunk.
Because the train rail makes the perfect pillow.
Right.
Right, right. It's so comfy.
And I like to sleep on it on the side of my neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
A while ago, Maven put up that the Unabomber had actually died in 23 in
yeah,
federal prison. I didn't know he had died.
yeah. I thought that he died. I just didn't know if they executed him
No,
or
they
if he
didn't
just died of
execute.
natural causes.
They didn't execute him. He died.
Yeah. Well, I guess they probably didn't execute him because he was fruitier than a nut or nuttier than a fruitcake.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Duggar, did you find that serial killer? If Ted Bundy was on the dating game?
Oh, you fucking nickel.
You trying to trump me on my serial
I'd
killer,
rather
Mr.
beat you.
Duggar?
I'd rather owe you than beat you out of it
All
though.
right, that'd be like me trying to school you on barbecue. I
I
can't
knew
do
as
it.
soon as I said it, I was wrong.
Hmm.
That it
Well, I
was
wasn't gonna like rub it in, but
that it
you know.
was Ramirez.
Hmm. I can understand though. They were serial killing around the same time. That was like what,
They had
70s?
another serial killer on there. That long haired guy from Albuquerque.
Who's that, Mr.
Oh,
Duggar?
I can't think of his fucking name right this second. But uh, but he was on there and he was a serial killer. And
That's probably some good trivia questions for TF.
yeah,
Right. Except he hates true crime.
yeah,
Mm.
he had he got his victims by being a photographer.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The one
Yeah,
that killed the beautiful girls out in the desert.
yeah.
Yeah. Hang on.
Albuquerque. Hello.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They
Yeah.
found 14 other girls buried out here in the sand. They still ain't caught
The
some bitch.
West, yeah, it's the West Mesa or the
Yeah,
West, yeah,
they
murders.
still ain't figured out who that son bitch is yet,
Mm-hmm.
or if they got all the bodies.
Yeah, that boneyard.
He's liable to have him another burial hole. You know, wherever there's sand makes a good burial hole. It ain't hard to dig.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you guys remember? Yeah, Mel Gibson did a movie on that story. But do you guys remember the West Memphis Three, the boys in the West
Yeah,
Mem? Yeah,
I got duped by those three
yeah, right. They did
documentaries.
that. Yeah, those documentaries were crazy. But those boys were innocent boys. And they're out now, and I'm glad that they're out. But and I think that was the stepfather that did that to those little boys.
See,
Hmm.
it's going to be like last night, or it's not going to be like last night because I disagree with you, but
You do?
we're not going to yell at each other like
Okay.
last night. See, I can let people speak who I disagree with.
You know, hey,
Right.
the guy knows plenty about history and stuff like that, but he's terrible trying to fade it as a liberal. He needs to let that side of him go. You
Well,
know,
I said
because
that last night too, Mr. Duggar. I
you
said
know,
that
and
same thing.
it's not condemning him or something on the right side. I don't claim to be a Republican. I claim to be an American. You vote for the guy that's doing a good job.
Right.
And Trump and his administration is doing a thousandfold better than what Biden did in his whole tenure.
I agree. I
You know,
agree.
and who even knows? Now the big thing is they think he was dead anyway because all they had is a bunch of fake Bidens running around that fucking place. That was too
Um,
tall. They showed they were wearing masks and all kinds of shit.
I don't know. Were they
Yeah,
fake?
that's the new argument going on again. Was he even alive? Is Biden really alive?
He's alive. That's a conspiracy theory bullshit. Like I don't
Uh,
believe in all that stuff. Do you believe in
well,
that stuff?
a lot of conspiracies just happen to be coming now as truth. But
Well,
you
and that
remember, it
Biden
was
is
a
a lot.
conspiracy that Trump was being spied on. Now, truth. It was a full setup on the Russia hoax. Truth come out that they put fucking made a biological weapon out of the COVID shot. Now it's been proven truth. They're pulling it off. They had fixed the numbers Well,
Allegedly.
allegedly,
Yeah.
no, it's true. It's came out. They even admitted it that they cooked the
Mm,
books. But, in the code they used to determine if you had COVID, it didn't work. The guy that invented the procedures itself said it doesn't work. It doesn't pick up COVID. It picks up remnants of COVID, like the flu. So,
mhm.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of conspiracy out there, and there's got to be who was in charge of this bitch. It wasn't him. He was out of his fucking skull with he was dying of prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer is a slow cancer, but I don't think that he's dead and that they were just faking with deep fakes and with like
I think he was brain dead.
well that yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
medicine that they give them to treat that problem helps make you lose your smarts. Your brain goes, what? You can't think normally.
I mean, did you ever
Yeah,
look at his
there's
notes? His notes would be like turn left, turn right. Like his notes that he was going by. But go ahead, LW, I'm sorry.
this is just a fact that there's conspiracy theories that are thrown out there just for all the legitimate ones, and it's not really not conspiracy theories or whatever. It's just corruption. It's not.
Mhm.
They just call it that to make you seem crazy, but they throw in crazy ones like that because then they'll just lump you in
Yeah.
with all
Yeah.
those people. There's no way that, like, one was going around that big accounts on Twitter were posting that Jim Carrey was playing
Mhm.
Joe Biden.
Mhm.
That Jim Carrey was wearing the mask because they said, "Oh, this picture he looks 6'4" like Jim Carrey and falling up the stairs." They're like, that's really
Yeah.
Jim Carrey doing all that. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's not yeah. That wouldn't be. Mm-mm. I can't imagine. Not the same build. Jim Carrey hasn't worked in a while either. I think have you seen him on some interviews in the last like 10 years or so? He's really turned into a total nut job.
You stop and think about all the people who got pardons for something they haven't even been charged for.
Oh my God, the Chrisleys just got pardoned, which is crazy that Trump pardoned the Chrisleys from Chrisley's Knows Best that had those financial I mean they had huge financial fraud with I mean they were getting these loans and they were bringing their own papers to the bank that were just like copied and pasted. Honest to God, I swear, like kindergarten paste. They made these forms to say that they were good for the loan, and it was all like cooked books, and that's how
Mhm.
they were getting all those loans. And Trump just pardoned them, but like I mean I do think it was kind of crazy that they put both of them in at the same time. I know that there's a housewife that her and her husband got arrested for very similar crimes like bankruptcy fraud and stuff like that.
I was trying to
And
get her kid into college. Yeah, that one
no,
chick. They
oh
wanted,
yeah.
and they let them take turns going to prison.
Yeah, well, no, this is they didn't they it wasn't about college, but they both got in trouble, and then sent him they put him in prison for they put her in prison for a year, and they let him stay home with the four girls that they had, four little girls, and she went to prison for a year, and then when she got home, he went to prison for 5 years, and then they deported him afterwards. But they did let them. I thought that was nice that the judge let each parent uh stay home.
Mm.
So, and that's kind of crazy too. That couple, that guy was married to his whole life. He had been in the country since he was like 3 months old, but he was the only one in his whole family that didn't get his citizenship or whatever. And of course, when he committed that crime, they deported him, and he had 5 young daughters. He had been married to an American citizen since they were like 16 or 17 years old, and they deported him. And that was a sorry sucker, I guess. But I kind of felt bad for him in the sense that his parents were here, his brother, all of his siblings were here, his wife and his children were here, and he was never allowed to step foot in the United States again.
I think it's good because
Hmm.
if how many people is he hurting by stealing that money?
Right.
I mean, it's you got to look in a different perspective. He knew it was wrong what he was doing.
Hmm.
He had a lot to lose if he done it, and he risked it, and
He's such an idiot, though. He got a DUI and then went and got and used his brother's driver's license to went and tried to get another ID with his brother's information. Like, you stupid. Like, they fingerprint you. I mean, oh my God, he was a moron. But you're right, Mr. Duggar. But I just kind of felt bad for his kids,
yeah.
because they didn't deserve it.
And the Chrisleys or whatever. I mean, it just pays to be famous,
Right?
You
That
you
would
and I
never
you and
happen to
I
me.
you and I would never get pardoned for that
Oh,
bank fraud and
never.
fucking over the government. No way.
Yeah, and I felt bad for her because like she was fighting to be in this prison over here in Kentucky, and there's no air conditioning, and she was going through the change of life. So she was just miserable. But I can't even imagine Todd Chrisley in these prisons, him
I'll be
just
back.
swishing around all over the
Yeah.
place,
All right, Mr. Duggar.
Okay, Mr. Duggar. But yeah.
Yeah, but Chrisley in prison though.
I know, right? Like, I wonder
I'm
how
sure
that's going for him. And he's
I
like,
bet
a germ phobe, and he's like, oh, he's super anal about everything. Like, oh God.
and he's gay. So
And he's gay. And there's that. There's that.
he's
Yeah.
probably just walking around there whistling "Stranger in Paradise." He probably liked that.
Right. He might be having the time of his life. It's might be
Right.
the first time that he's been able to be out. But I mean, he jokes about
It'd be funny if he got pissed. Like, no, I don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave. But he's like, he was such a germ phobe and he was so like particular about everything. And so I can't even imagine him in that federal lockup. The only thing that would save him in that situation, though, is he's pretty witty and funny. And humor can get you pretty far in places like that. You can be a pretty likable person if you're able to, make people laugh.
Yeah.
So, look at how far I've come.
So, why do you want me to tell you why you're wrong about the West Memphis?
Yes,
Three?
yes,
Okay.
I sure do.
Well, all those 3 movies are so much of it is just bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah, the movies are, yeah. But the evidence later on, I mean, you couldn't really, like, the evidence says that
Hold up real quick. I gotta pull up. Hold on.
Are you trying to porn bomb? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to porn bomb myself. Hang tight. I'm trying to delete all those emails I sent you of my dick pic.
Oh, yeah, please. In the
I
video,
I didn't know you weren't into that.
You didn't? Nobody's into that.
Just kidding, everybody.
Yeah, those boys though, like they were saying that was during like the satanic panic, and so they were saying that those kids were devil worshippers because they were seeing Ozzy Osbourne.
Is that TB?
Yes, sir. It's me.
What up, brother? How you been, man?
I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Well, first of all, I want to ask, what's her name?
Crispy Treat.
Okay, I just didn't want to be rude. Just come on to start talking. But I was gonna tell you guys what I had found out about the Chrisley thing that I thought was really neat. I know my mom used to watch them when I was younger. They've been on TV forever.
Right.
But how about there's right now I know there's 10 plus stories, like 10 plus inmates that have given their own personal story that he paid for their families to come down to visit, like for visitation.
Oh, that was
That
nice.
like he was putting money on people's books. And this one guy, I forgot the name of the guy who's talking about it. He said, in a sense, Chrisley played being rich the best way that you could play it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go in there and act like your crap doesn't stink. You were like, you know what? I'm gonna be everybody's best friend, and everybody's gonna love me, and nobody's gonna mess with me because I'm helping everybody out. And it's like that's how you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
that's a pretty
And
smart strategy. Yeah,
it is a smart strategy because I was concerned about him. I was thinking,
Yeah.
oh my God, he's going to be over there and he's so effeminate and
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes. 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 And
And
that's I could
yeah,
just see him getting into it with somebody and
me
popping
too.
off on them, and it's like,
Somebody moves his like toothbrush over or something like, and he was such a neat freak and stuff, and he had
yeah,
OCD. I thought, oh God, he's gonna just be like, I just thought, my God, he's gonna be just in a fetal position when he gets out.
yeah. No, I completely agree. But I just when I heard that, I was very just I don't know. It just kind of, I guess it struck me odd because we've heard of rich people in the past going to jail,
Yeah.
but we've never heard stories like that. And I think it's because who was it? Ellen DeGeneres that went to jail for insider trading.
No, Martha
uh,
Stewart.
Martha
Martin
Stewart.
Stewart.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't hear any stories from that, but I think I don't know. It just made me feel different about the Chrisley dude because maybe he's not. Maybe he is homegrown rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he's not like
They're good people. I mean,
they're definitely different.
mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not coming on here defending or attacking them. I just thought
Sure.
when I heard that, I was like, that's the coolest thing I've heard of from a rich person going to jail.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
And
I did see where he was saying that you know it's different rules in prison. Like he had a bunch of like programs available to him where like the black prisoners didn't have and stuff like that. He was saying that too.
well, you have to
Oh,
be, you have to like meet the criteria for these programs. You can't. It's not just everybody gets those programs. It depends on
Like
what kind
there's
of a
probably
crime you
right.
committed.
It's probably a little different if like he committed bank fraud and somebody's in there for like rape or something like.
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly right. You get privileges according to like what your felony is, and so if you're if you're a violent offender, you're not going to be able to go and sit with some lady in a little group, or whatever. You're not going to get those kinds of privileges. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's
So,
and that makes perfect sense.
mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm sitting here watching a movie and listening to you guys, and I figured
I'm glad you
when I
came up
heard
and
that,
said that. I hadn't heard anything about it. So I was, I'm glad that you came up and said something about it because I wondered how he was doing. And I had gotten some, I had heard a little bit about her. She was having a tough time. She was having a
got
really
it.
tough time without air conditioning and she was far away. I think she was further away from her family than she wanted to be or whatever. And I know that their daughter, Savannah, is the one that's taking care of the children because they still have got they've got Chloe they've adopted their grandchild. They've got a little grandchild that they've adopted,
Okay.
Chloe. And then they have Grayson, who I don't know how old he is now, but I think he might have been like maybe 8 or 9 or something when they went away. And he was around that age, I think. And then Chloe was really little, though. She was maybe like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah.
And then they've got the son, but I think Savannah is the daughter, and she's taking care of she's the one that's been spearheading. Well, I also know this too. The other update that I had was the prison that Chrisley was in was condemned.
No way.
Yes, it was condemned. And she was saying she had no idea where they were going to put him. Savannah, the daughter, she was saying she had no idea where they were going to put all these prisoners because the facility was so bad that it was condemned. And so they were, having to house these prisoners someplace else. That might be one of the reasons why the pardon went in as well. Maybe that was part of the appeal, or I don't know, but
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, had to
mhm.
deal with some unfair, unjust type things, and
Right. Yeah, I
like
don't know. I
it.
don't.
It
Well,
is. Go ahead, LW.
I was just going to say that Nate joined and Outlaw. Is that you?
Yes, this is me.
Okay, cool. I'll bring the overlay down. I just wanted
Oh,
to.
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "Are we backstage or?"
No, I just had the overlay till I heard you talk, and I didn't want to ignore you and Nate that came
Oh
in.
yeah.
Well, I guess last thing I'll say, and then I really am just gonna jump off and just keep listening. But I was with all of politics going on, and I mean, I forget it had to been a few weeks ago, but I remember talking to Slim Shady and he's a Florida fan. I don't know if you guys know him, but his name's Percy. Anyway, just college football fan, and he's a big, like really big time Democrat, and I think Slim's a big time Republican. And like I said, I don't care, but I just told them, I said, it is very interesting to me to not really be diehard one way or the other, but to see how Trump is treated or how he treats people, because it's very different than we've ever seen a president do. Whether you can say, well, it's because it's negative or it's positive, but for him to pardon somebody like Chrisley, it's like, do people view him as a bad guy for doing that, or do they view him as a good
I
guy?
think so. I think they view him as a bad guy for doing it. Yeah, I
Uh,
don't think
and-
privilege,
yeah.
white privilege.
Yeah, and then but then you turn around and have Chrisley come out and call out the privilege that other people don't get. That threw me off, because I'm like, whoa.
Right.
Is it
right?
So I don't know. Just like I said, all of this has been very weird to watch. And I
I'm
think
sure they did, I'm sure they did some kind of ministry or something in that jail as well. I'm sure he probably led some sort of ministry there, because that's what they do. I mean, they're pretty diehard Christians, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, as far as politics, it's like Travanpool says all the time. If you're so partisan, like if a Republican might disagree with Obama or Clinton or whatever, but if you can't find one thing that they did well or that was good for the country, and then the opposite, vice versa with Trump, if you just say everything isn't, because they all do something that's good.
They do.
I get what you're saying.
I agree.
Like,
I agree
you
with
can't
that.
just be so fucking far gone. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, actually.
I mean, I'm a Republican through and through. I'm a conservative woman. I've always been, and I'm not ever going to change my my opinions on things. But I do think, though, that, like we were talking about this last night, that when you were having some kind of a debate or a discourse with somebody about politics, the idea is that you listen to them, and they want to be heard, and so you listen to them and you let them know that you understand and you've heard, and you hear what they're saying, and vice versa. But it's not to change your mind. Like, I'm not going to listen to somebody and they're going to be able to change your mind. And if you go into an argument where you think you're going to change my mind, it's really not going to go very far. So that's kind of like what was happening.
Yeah, last night. Last night it was more like, when you have a discussion with another adult, you have a back and forth of exchange of ideas and stuff like that. But how that went last night was they're just trying to preach, like
4th of July speech.
Yeah, they're just trying to where they're just trying to learn you something, like teach you something that you're too stupid to understand, Dude,
I walked away from that stream with a fucking migraine behind my
eyes. No, I know, and I think that was one of the things that like I said, when I was talking with him the other day, it was just I was trying to get the point across to the person because he was like, well, what are your views on it? What do you know? Tell me what all you've learned or researched. And I'm like, to me, I said, I guess I'm not really looking at it from a way of what can I try to sell you on or how can I try to convince you to be one way or the other. I don't care to convince you. I'm just telling you, well, I've never seen a president be as, I guess, independent as Trump has been. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, I was talking about, him signing a lot of these executive orders. I said, it's not to pick one out and go, that's amazing. That's an awesome idea. It's just, I never knew a president had this much power because in the past, our presidents just sat there and looked pretty.
Well, they listen. They are talking heads to some respect because they can't do anything without Congress.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
It just,
So
but you get what I'm
yeah,
saying though, is to just come out and
yes,
say, like when he said, what was it that he was going to give drug companies 30 days to lower their prices or he was going to
yes.
fine them. I
He
was like,
doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He
I was
just
like, dude, like most people that do that go away forever.
Right.
Mhm.
That try, so, but at the same time, I think that's the reason because he's so off the wall like that.
Mhm.
It doesn't give me hope as man, Republicans are amazing or Democrats. It's not that. It's just like, is this guy really going to try to help us? Like, is
Yeah.
he really, because we've never had that. I mean, I'm not trying to knock either side, but I remember when I was younger, I was in high school when Barack Obama was running for president and
Mhm.
it was that whole, yes, we can help the black community.
Right.
And then we kind of got screwed and a lot of black people didn't like Barack anymore. And it was like,
Mhm.
it was just one of those where everybody's going to use their color or their gender or whatever to try to sell.
Yeah,
And
to get elected.
yes. And then with
Mhm.
Trump, he's like, okay, well, you elected me. Now I'm going to lower this. I'm going to do that. And it's like, wait, can you really do that? Because the presidents in the past didn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why do you all of a sudden want to help us when nobody else did? And
Well, yeah, a lot of the policies that they run on don't always don't always go through, that they promise this or that, but Trump seems to make it his business to make sure that the things that he said he was going to do, he is doing. So I
Well,
don't know.
it's a funny thing too about him, and I kind of chuckle when I see the left side who freaks out and calls him the most evil person in the world and all this stuff. But a lot of his ideas, not all of them, but there's a good chunk of them that were old liberal ideas. And he's not like a neocon Republican who wants to go to war every 38 seconds. He's trying to avoid it,
That's because he used to be a Democrat.
Right.
Yes, that's what I heard. Heard the same thing.
And it's funny listening to Republicans too. They're like, "Oh, I'll never be a Democrat," and then everything Trump does, they love, and they don't even realize that they're backing a liberal policy from 20 years ago. It's kind of funny.
Well, and she hit the nail on the head when she, you're talking about when you have discussions with people, and it's not just politics. It could be who's your favorite sports team, who's the coolest person in the world, whatever it is. You're gonna have these people that come in already trying to change your mind, and they don't realize when you do that, the person you're trying to change the mind of, they're throwing up their defense. They're building a wall already. It's like the dude that stands on the corner with the Bible screaming, "You're all going to hell." Well, guess what you're doing? You're making people that don't know God go, "Yep, that's why I'm not doing it."
Right.
You're automatically pushing them away instead of like, not to bring religion on here, but people say, dude, like, you seem like every time you hit a wall, like, you kind of go about it a different way. You don't seem to let it bring you down, and it never affects the people you're around. Like, you can give a reasoning behind it instead of, hey, you need to be a Republican or you need to be.
Yes.
It's like,
well, if you're going to try to sway somebody to one side or the other, you're already losing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Neither side has all the answers.
Agreed.
Yeah, and Tiger makes a good point about the street person preaching, saying you're all gonna die. You're all gonna burn it up. That's kind of like what last night was like. He was like that guy last night was like the political version of that.
Right. But that's this. You have to look at. I always look at the people that come into chats and they're with their preach. They will preach and with their Bible verses and the whole bit. And I do know that the Bible says that you're supposed to share the word of God, but it does just the opposite of what they are trying to do. It chases people away. It makes people want to just completely run away from religion versus what they're trying to do. They're trying to invite you into, to be closer to God and to reach out or whatever. And it does the complete opposite. It makes people just like resent them and not want to talk to them. They block them, the whole bit. They're rude to them.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I always tell people. I mean, I'm not a preacher or anything like that, but when this comes up, I always say there's one verse in the Bible that talks about do everything you can to show the love of Christ, and if you have to talk, then talk. So like you should do all these things to show it. And then if you have to talk, then talk. But don't talk first. Your action should show it before anything. And there's a lot of people out there who it's the opposite.
Yeah.
They'll
Very
show you their
true.
action if they have to. And that's not just religion, that's relationships, that's friendships, that's how come you don't call me anymore? Oh, you need me to call you? Okay, now I'll do it. No. Like I'm the one always calling you first and I finally call you out. That's how come you never get me flowers? Okay, I'll get you flowers tomorrow. No, I don't want them tomorrow.
Yeah, I understand.
I
have my Bible right here. So
how are you doing, Nate?
Good.
Are you doing good? How's your back doing? You feeling better?
I feel fine.
Good.
I just gotta wear this stupid brace.
Yeah.
What happened to his back?
Surgery.
I didn't know anything about it. I talked to Nate all the time. He didn't tell me anything.
I did forget to tell you, but yes, I have. I apologize for not telling you on TV, but yeah.
Did you get the surgery that makes you taller?
He's tall enough.
We're just going to tell you this, Tiger. We call him Natalie now.
Oh no!
Yeah, Fools tries to say he had the transition surgery.
Brother, I come from that world, from religion to Christianity.
Yeah.
Yes.
My pops used to be a pastor. My brother is a pastor.
Oh
yeah.
PK, preacher kid.
Oh yeah.
Missionary Baptist.
Oh wow, yeah. You're hardcore.
Oh yeah, they're old school too. No women up in the pulpits. Nobody wearing certain clothing. It's the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Tithing.
All
of it. Yeah. I did 12 years of Catholic school. I did 12 years of all girls Catholic school.
But damn it, we're gonna have Sunday dinner from everybody.
Oh, amen. Yeah.
We're gonna eat that pot roast and fried chicken.
Yes, sir. Buttermilk fried chicken after Sunday. Yes, sir. Ain't nothing like it.
Lord.
That's
I look at it like this. This be my quick opinion. Y'all know who I am when it comes to my God, Jesus Christ. And it's a personal adventure.
Yeah.
I can't help but tell you about him because of the way I'm acting, the way it makes me feel. It's not because it's an order given to him by us. It makes you want to talk to people about it. If you're not receptacle to it, I don't care. I got other things to do, like worry about Doug, but I got to worry about my fellow man because I don't. Nobody deserves hell.
Right, but you got to wait till people want to. If people want to engage in that conversation.
Once again, it's a personal trip. But if you can get on a conversational level about God and Jesus and how to have a closer relationship, it's a real chill gossip. It's really easy to preach the gospel to somebody if they have an interest.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
They
and I
have
think
the interest. That's exactly it,
you
Mr.
can't
Duggar.
lead a horse to water that ain't thirsty.
That's right, Mr. Duggar.
Or, you can't, scare off something that don't know what being scared is.
well, and in another way too, it's like I would never want to push away a friend because of that. I would never want to push somebody away by trying to force something on them. And it's like it may be 2 or 3 years before we have that conversation, and maybe all we do is just talk about it, and that's fine. But I agree with both of you. It's something that I have friends who I guess we'll say would not be welcomed in the Christian community, and that's okay. Like they will be my friends, and I'll tell you guys this because she'll never see this stream. But one of my friends is she's gay, and in college we became best friends. And I remember her telling me, like, if I ever get married, you're gonna be my best man. And I'll be honest with you guys, that's like I've thought about that for the longest time. When we come across that bridge, the hell am I gonna say? You know what I mean? Because
this is what we
Yeah.
tell them: don't hate the sinner, hate the sin.
yeah, I mean, and I know I sin too. I would never, if it was ULW or if it's Nate, I would never want to be like, hey Nate, dude, hey, have you got saved yet? Hey, have you got saved? Because then Nate's not gonna want to call me anymore. Because I'm like, dude, all he's gonna ask is about this. Like, I want to care about Nate and what Nate cares about.
That's
Like,
Right.
I think that if you say you're a Christian, and Mr. Duggar, you do a great job of it too, with just me and you being friends. You just want to make people feel special when you see them, when you talk to them. Like,
Absolutely.
you want it to be genuine.
That's
Yeah,
what
and
I'm trying to do too.
you can't be self-righteous about it too, because everyone who's ever taken a breath of air has sinned, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
God, without Jesus in my life, I'm going straight to hell. I ain't got a shot at it without Jesus. And that's what's got my heart and my soul at ease, that I don't have to worry about that. I feel it in my soul that he had said, do not worry, I have a place for you. I repented my sins.
Ew.
I try not to be the scumbag as I was sometimes in my life. Not to say I was a terrible person, but I had my moments.
Yeah,
we all have our moments.
I had outlaw all over me coming up, So
Hey, I'll be right back. Okay.
you're good.
Okay.
And it just came to me one day, It just I said I can't live like this anymore, Lord. And dude, it came when that feeling of His embrace came upon me, and I really felt Him just enter my heart. There's nothing in the world that I wouldn't give for that feeling every day. And you know what? I get that feeling every day.
Yeah,
that's good.
I thought it was a high price I was going to have to pay. All He had to do was tell Him, "I'm sorry, Lord."
That's right.
I was, I'm not perfect. Jesus was perfect.
Yeah, He's the only one that's perfect.
Yeah.
And he hung out with prisoners and prostitutes and
exactly.
Even His disciples
sinners.
were, before the disciples knew what Jesus was, they didn't know what to do or what to.
I think what pushed Him over the edge is when He came walking across the water and said, "I'm gonna make you a fisher of men instead of fishermen."
I mean, listen, His first miracle was He went to that boring wedding in Cana and turned that water into wine. So He apparently liked to party.
Just grape juice.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he took imperfect men and showed people in the rest of the world, the difference between the sinner and the sin and what He came to do to change. And He always took the most imperfect examples of people, and showed you exactly, how to make it right with man.
And it's crazy you say that, because I think we all in here have felt that feeling at some point in our life of just not being enough and not, reaching whatever goal, whatever achievements we want in life, and just feeling down. And it's just so funny at how there are so many
Depression
examples
too.
of that.
It's
You know, so many examples of that, and we still, it's hard for us to accept that we are enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mhm.
that's just human nature to always doubt yourself.
He always took the Jezebels and
Yes.
showed you that there was a human being under all of that sin.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Very
Even
That's what it
true.
was.
Even he passed out a uh
a demon.
yeah.
Yeah, what was that man's name? The maniac of
I
Gadara?
thought that was a woman. I don't know. It's
Cast
probably
out
both.
cast out all those demons out of that man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what was it? They went into all them hogs and they went out to the sea and drowned.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Even the I'm not gonna. I'm too scared to say it.
You can say it, Nate.
No, I'm not.
Okay. You don't
No,
have
I'm
to.
not in that stuff.
Well, I
The
just
yeah.
the blood of the lamb. If you've received coverage from the blood of the lamb, live your life. Be happy. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about nothing. I don't worry about money. I don't worry about being ill. I don't worry about. It took such a burden off of me. You know.
Be joyful.
You know. I asked the Lord for stuff because you don't get any blessing unless you ask for blessing.
Well,
You can't have any testimonies unless you have tests.
yeah. But I
You
think
know,
God also, he doesn't always answer your prayers. He gives you what you
In your
need,
way,
and
yeah.
he
yeah,
gives you what you
exactly.
need and not what you want sometimes, you know.
That's why he says no in those prayers.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
but he does answer those prayers the way you don't expect them to be.
Right. That's right, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. You know, and all relationships need to be nurtured. So,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, in order for them to prosper, you know, you have to, with my friendships, I have to reach out. I have to, I show up for important things. I show up for weddings. I show up for babies. I show up for funerals. You have to
yeah,
be there for the important, what's important to that person. And you have to you have to nurture your friendships. Friendships will just fall to the wayside if you don't pay attention to them, you know. And you gotta try and nurture your relationships, and that's the same with Jesus too, you know.
well, and you talk about showing up for stuff. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
so tough to explain, but if a relationship, whether dating or friendship, is not always going to be 50-50.
Right.
I think there are times where I know me, like in the past before YouTube, I struggled with depression a lot. And I think
Yeah.
some of my best friends were the ones that weren't always bugging me about it. It was like,
Sure.
oh, okay, you're good. Oh, like, okay, well, I'll let you chill. I'll check up on you tomorrow. Like, let me
Let you
be
do
me.
it.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
go through it the way I want to go through it. And then when I'm good, you hit me up tomorrow, then I'm back to normal. And I think those are things that I would have never dreamed of having in a friend or friends, is just somebody who understands that I need to go through it the way I go through it. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I may need you to give me 70% next week, but right now I need you to give me 20.
Right, right. And don't try and talk me out of it. If I want to like feel this way, I'm gonna feel this way, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
so easy for people to want to tell other people how to feel.
How to feel, and you can't and if you're in that funk, you can't pull yourself out of it, you know. You are just in that funk, and nothing that someone else is going to say is going to pull you out of that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's
That.
just, you're not doing it intentionally, it's just that's the way it is, and you got to let that ride out. There's ebbs and flows, you know, and to life. But you know, I think like with I've got the secret to any kind of
Um
relationship, and the relationship is like, if you wake up every day and you with if you have a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, and if you wake up every day and you try and make that person's day a little bit easier, that is the secret to any good relationship. Just
Take-
try and make that person's day easier. That's it.
Taking care of your life partner
Mm-hmm.
it should be an enjoyable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
To see my Barb smile and grin or find something that made her clap her hands together and make her gasp. I
Yeah.
can make my old lady gasp better than anybody, you know. Whether it was Douglas or Douglas, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's sweet.
We had the perfect relationship. I shit you not. I told her when we first started, I said, I don't argue. I said, I'll discuss things to you, but I refuse to get into blowout bullshit arguing.
Yeah.
And she tried it with me one time and I left. And when I
Mhm.
come back, I was intending to get some more of my shit and go. And she said, can we talk? I said, of course we can talk. If we'd have talked earlier, I wouldn't be gathering shit to get the hell out of here. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
so we talked, and she seen where she said, "You really don't argue, do you?" And I go, "No, I don't. I base it on opinion. You have that opinion, and I have opinion. We're both free people, you
Right.
know. And it's not whether I depend on you for anything except just love me for who I am, and you've done that. But I told you I didn't argue." And she
Right.
goes, "Well, I don't think we'll have another argument." I said, "You want me to come home?" She goes, "Well, of course I do." Then I come
Mm.
home. That's the one and only argument we ever had.
Wow.
And after that, not saying she still didn't get mad at me and
Sure.
tell me what was on her mind. She wasn't scared of me a bit. Just go on and know that woman wasn't scared of my fat ass for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But what made her my girl is you crawl up on me and try to bully me or be mean to me, she'll come at you.
Right. Right.
Like
She's protective of you.
you do not want to do something to my wife.
Right.
You know, I will walk in the middle of a public room and choke you to fucking to death.
Sure.
Oops.
And she had to stop me a couple times. That's enough, Dougie. Okay, baby. You
Mhm.
think you know?
Yeah,
Like
Nate,
ALW.
I punched her brother in the fucking snot box and told him I'm gonna hit you right square in the nose and there's nothing you can do about it. And
Oh,
he did.
Golly.
Cause he
with
Hey,
a
hit,
Nate.
family, with family.
Hold on.
yeah, because he hit his sister.
Hold on
Oh,
a
he
second.
hit
Oh
her.
my
Okay.
goodness.
Sure.
Hold on, hold on.
Hold on. Hey, Nate, why is there another one of you in the backstage?
Oh,
No, that's a share screen.
That's a what?
a share
Sure.
screen.
Oh,
It's a. I know we're talking a little bit about Jesus for a little bit, so I want. It's just a YouTube short. That's all it is.
okay. All right. You have all your clothes on in this short, right?
And that'll
Hey,
be
my.
$32.50 for that short off this channel.
All right.
Make the check payable to LW Enterprises.
Wait, hold on. Do I need to screen record? You say he doesn't
No,
have clothes on?
no. All I need is just click on it and I'll play it. So basically, this guy is like a what do you call it? Christian influencer on YouTube. He preaches Jesus on every way in like every video. So, this is he's trying to portray Jesus on. Oh my gosh! All right, shut it down. So
Excuse me.
Bless you.
so
God bless
basically,
you.
he's trying to say that Jesus forgives you if like you keep endure his his if you keep enduring your faith in him. And the scariest, I guess, the scariest verse in the Bible, I forgot what chapter and verse, but I know what it says: depart from me, I never knew you. Or it will happen on Judgment Day for some people, or probably a lot of people. That's probably the scariest verse ever written.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yep. Departing from me, ye worker of iniquity.
Yes, and I never knew you. That means you're not.
You're a marshmallow.
Yeah, it's. Look, I hope I don't get that, but what I do know is that Jesus has, changed me and stuff, and he brought me into the Holy Spirit in me, and even though I had some of my worst times and stuff, like selfishness.
And ye will know that ye have passed from death unto life when you have love for the brethren.
Yes.
I feel bad, LW, because I came on talking about politics, and then I feel like I secretly switched it to religion.
No, hey man, I
All right.
appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a good
Yeah, you're
conversation.
fine.
No worries at all, brother.
I thought I
Yeah.
switched
You
it
can
to
stay.
religion.
I'm just kidding.
No, I
Yeah.
just I do it, like I said, I do appreciate talking to you guys. I think this has probably been one of the most chill conversations I've had about politics and religion in my life.
Good.
Hey, TB, or have you ready to play a man's game yet? Come play Rust with me.
Hey,
Oh.
I'm getting close, Duggar. I am, because
It's free, I thought, right?
no, that's not Rust isn't free, but it's I'm running out of good games to play, Duggar.
Dude, I'm telling you, this one is all them games in a fucking bag of chips.
Yeah, I saw you playing the baseball one, man.
Oh, me?
The TB, like
Oh,
that thing would get addicting. I had to stop playing it. My son and stuff like.
I was
is.
playing it too.
It was, it's addicting. I think Nate's player is like 41 years old right now. That's how long he's been playing.
Oh, really?
Bro, he's
The
still not
player's age?
retired.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
He's
I
got
mean-
experience.
yeah,
I know, right?
Nate's got experience. That's it.
I'm like, my agent in the game like ditched me, bro. I mean,
He won't let him retire. He's got to play until he's like 60.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
stupid.
Are you winning, Nate? Do you win with him? Your player?
I mean, I broke records, so yeah.
Oh. Well.
Yep.
I have too. I think I have figured out every way to die in Rust that there is to die.
There you go.
You know,
Hey, Duggar, you should try Forest. It's kind of like that.
dude, I am so into this game, Rust.
I
that
know.
I don't want to play anything else.
I know.
You
but
know,
We're gonna hear Mr. Duggar at an AA convention for games.
hello, I'm Mr. Duggar, and I'm addicted to Rust.
I'm addicted. Hey,
I really fucking find it funny when I put my landmines down around cocky fucking 12-year-olds.
Are there some adults in that game too?
Oh, dude, it's fun. You know, it's like I had a base, and they come in and erased my base offline. So I went in there and went in there and talked some shit, and they told me who did it. I said, that's the one that did it, because he didn't get my boom. I had a stash house. I immediately went over there and blew his fucking house up
Let me see.
because he was offline.
Let me
And I like fighting them online because that's the fun part of the game.
Yeah.
Defending your base against other people, that's got to be the funnest thing I ever fucking done, dude. Because they were out there hitting my landmines, I just giggle like a little girl every time one of them landmines to go off. And we'd shoot them with rockets, guns, and throw grenades at them. And
I'm gonna
you got
search for
people
Rust.
coming from
I
all over.
need to watch some of this. I don't think I've really seen gameplay on
And
Rust.
then you got other teams coming in trying to counter the fight. So it just, just turns into a 2-hour fucking shoot 'em fest. But you're sitting there with a base that they got to blow into, and you kill them, you run out there and grab their rockets and shoot them back at them. But we had 2 Chads come in on us after me and my nephew Dave defended my base through 2 hard fucking fights. I mean, they were hard fights. And then these 2 little Chads, that just probably content makers come in there and they had all the boom in the world, and they finally got us. But I killed him several times with my landmine and shot him in his little head a few times too.
And his little
They got a hit. You know,
I,
but
you know,
it
Duggar.
was fun, just a fun ass game, you know.
You know,
Gotcha.
Duggar. I'm plotting and downloading right now.
You're what?
I'm gonna download Rust right now on my computer.
Okay,
So.
$40. It's cheap.
Isn't that
Uh,
didn't they do that movie about this video game? Isn't this
I
it?
don't know.
No, guys. Yes, remember they tried to do the movie, and that actor,
They got
as
killed.
Alec,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
Alec
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he shot the guy. He didn't know there was ammo, or I guess.
Yeah.
And they stopped making the movie because of it. They stopped production.
Right. I was wondering if that was the
Was
same
that real
thing,
though?
same as the video game as the movie.
I don't know. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I
No,
think it is.
Mr. Duggar. It was a movie about not necessarily the campaign of Rust, but about
Mhm.
that kind of open
Survival.
world type deal.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
And
Yeah.
but Alec Baldwin was going to be the main character, and he ended up. Would he go to jail for like a year or something?
No.
Oh,
He was
fuck,
let
man,
off.
had nothing
He got
to
off
do
on a
with it.
Or I bought
technicality.
it.
But
Oh,
the person that was in charge of the weapons, the armory lady, she got
yeah.
convicted and was sent for a year.
That's some
Oh
That
my
lady.
goodness.
Because she was in charge of, her entire job was just to bring the weapons and to make sure that the bullets were, it's very, like there's
Sorry,
so
Duggar.
many policies that you have to follow and they're very strict on these movie sets, and she didn't do any of the stuff that she was supposed to do. So she was, found, it was reckless what she did, but she had real bullets and where they were supposed to be fake bullets, and she had real bullets. And
That's
so
They were
Mel
actually
Gibson came and picked up that, or not Mel Gibson, but the Baldwin guy, he came up and picked up the gun. He pointed it, which you're not supposed to point a gun at anybody unless you're going to shoot.
No.
But he did, because it
Yeah.
was supposed to be blanks, and when he did, it shot the director, and she
Oh.
was killed.
they
Yeah.
were actually shooting.
director.
They
Oh,
were actually shooting the guns with live ammunition earlier. Target.
That's what that's what I was just
Wow.
saying. Mhm.
Yeah, and then
Oh, well, I thought most movies use fake guns, like fake
Well,
bullets.
yeah,
They're
it was
supposed
fake.
to.
They're supposed to have fake bullets, and this lady that was in charge of bringing the bullets and stuff. What was strange though is that she had a bunch of fake bullets, but for whatever reason there were real ones mixed
my
in with the fake ones. So yeah, the whole thing was just crazy, and she was
yeah.
real careless with how
Yeah.
she was supposed to test all that stuff out.
So
It is wild too to think how many movies have used. I mean, think of like your John Wicks or Equalizers, like all these
Bruce
movies.
Lee's son. Yeah, but didn't Bruce Lee he got hit and killed with a gun on a movie set? Bruce Lee, and so did his
In
son
the,
Brandon.
in the,
Brandon. Yeah.
Both of them did.
Yeah, during the filming, they were at the end of the filming of that movie, The Crow,
Mm-hmm.
and he died.
Yeah,
But-
but so both of them, right? Though, like
Yeah.
different times, right?
Yeah,
Bruce and his son. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but that's just crazy that now, all these years
oh
later,
my goodness.
and you still have these mess ups. You
Y'all
know,
hear that?
Hear
No.
what?
we can't hear it. Is it thundering or something?
Yeah, it was thunder.
Mm.
That was thunder. Sorry.
Was
Yeah,
it?
it's insane that they would even have they would even have a gun on the set when it's just ridiculous because they could use a fake one, and there's AI is so good now you can't even tell.
What was it?
Yeah.
It's just insane that they would even have live ammunition or even have a weapon on there. They should have had fake weapons as well.
Well, the
Yeah.
gun, even the machine guns are real machine guns. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's crazy.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, there's
But-
no reason for it. It's just stupid.
I mean, I get it if you're going to say, well, look, all the ammunition is fake ammunition. It's blank. So when it shoots, it's going to sound real. But, I get it.
They can
But-
add that in.
Yeah, but there's no way, no reason you should have real bullets on set.
No. Well, and they couldn't even find in that movie. I get it because it was like a Western, right? So
Yeah.
they wanted it to look very realistic, and it was going to have some the shots were going to be very simplistic, but they couldn't even trace like where these bullets came from. These bullets that she picked up, the armory lady, she picked up or whatever, there was real rounds mixed in with the fake ones, and then there
Wow.
was a cover up afterwards. You know, she you know, they when the police were called and stuff, there was a cover up, and this woman lost her life over it. You know, she was the producer of the movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that it was, you know, they were holding this Baldwin, they were holding him in as responsible because he, as the director of the movie, he was responsible for, he hired her, and he was responsible for everything that happened in that movie. And so I didn't think that was very fair, though, because he hired somebody to take care of this.
Yeah.
And when, you
Yeah.
know, but they made it so that, you know, he was responsible for it too, because that was his job to make sure she knew what she was
Thank,
doing, you
thank
know.
God we got Crispy to give us the whole entire fucking story of that.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know. I really did.
But I wanted to just say one thing. God
She
dang
knows
it!
a lot.
And I knew I was gonna tell them that they killed him with a blank. He did. He died of a blank, but they held
What?
it.
Okay.
He just done it to his head like that, and that wadding come out and went through his fucking temple, killed him.
Who?
Brandon Lee.
Apparently, Bruce Lee's son died to a blank.
Yeah, Brandon Lee. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that that was the same sort of thing. He didn't die of a blank. I thought it was a real bullet that
No,
got him.
he died of a blank.
Brandon did, not Bruce, but Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna look. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That just goes to show when it's your time to go, it's your time to go.
It's crazy that father and son both died like that, you know?
Yeah, that is a little
The
trippy.
same thing. Yeah, the movie was called The Crow, is what he died on.
Whoa. That was Brandon Lee that played in The Crow?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Y'all, that was one of my favorite movies when I was like really little. I know that sounds crazy, but
no,
that was an amazing movie.
It said that while the filming of The Crow, Lee suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the abdomen on the set. A .44 Magnum revolver,
Oh my goodness.
loaded with blanks, was pointed at him and fired as a part of the scene, but the props staff had not checked the gun to ensure that it was safe to use. And it said that he died March 31st, 1993. Accidentally shot by a prop gun that contained a live bullet, had live bullet fragments, which had been lodged in the barrel, and accidentally occurred when the filming of the scene where the character was supposed to be shot. He was 28 years old at the time of his death, and so was his dad. His dad was 28 as well.
Yo, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
That's wild.
Isn't that wild?
You know, it's your time. It's your time. You know, I mean, dadgummit.
What'd you say?
Not gonna lie, that thunder just shook my house.
Did it scare you?
Bro, it literally sounded like a gunshot.
Yeah.
From above, like boom.
Yeah,
God bowling.
We had that yesterday, dude. It went as lightning bolt flashed, lit up the sky, and then it was an immediate kaboom. And I was drinking some hot tea, and I had a teaspoon in it, and I heard that teaspoon rattle in that cup. I'm not shitting you. I live on top of a mountain. I was in the clouds when it hit. You know, boom.
Boom!
Like, my hair went up in my arm and shit. I ain't shit you. It's scary as fuck. I might have chapped myself a little bit, just to be truthful with you. That's the
Bro.
loudest one I ever heard, too, man. It scared the hell
Bro.
out of me.
That one that might have came from your place. Like boom. It was just, like I mean it's supposed to be like really storming the midnight. So
Have you ever seen a tree live get hit by lightning live?
No,
once.
I've seen one directly after it was split.
I've seen a tree get hit, and I've seen a mule get hit.
Oh,
I've seen a mule get hit by lightning and
did
killed.
the mule turn into Thor?
It killed her graveyard. Her name was Belle. Killed her graveyard dead.
Dang.
You know, her only job was to pull us around to hunt muscadine grape wine grapes.
Yeah.
And, we'd go picnics on her out there. She'd pull the wagon out there. She didn't have to plow anymore. We had another mule for plowing and stuff, but she didn't mind pulling the wagon around because it was really easy to pull.
There's Traveling Fools. Traveling Fools there. He's fact checking us there about the Brandon Lee thing.
Because I'm looking at it right now, and Bruce actually died of. He didn't die of a shot. He died of mysterious circumstances. But it says now, the sudden death was due to cerebral edema, swelling of the brain, through several theories that have emerged over the years. But he died on set. But it said just hours after taking aspirin to elevate a headache, he fell asleep and later became sick. But it was a mysterious death. I don't think that they ever really figured it out so much. But I don't know what Traveling Fools is fact checking.
No, he's talking about Brandon.
Oh yeah, Brandon. I just read what Brandon died.
I'm sorry. Well, maybe I'm behind the times. I apologize.
Maybe. I mean, I did just tell the whole story.
Yeah, I was about to say she did tell the story earlier.
All right, so
Mr. Duggar.
all right, so I'm the asshole in the situation. I get it.
No, I'm the asshole. I told the whole story. So
No, you're great. No, fine.
Anytime now.
What, Nate?
I'm just trying to show you, let y'all hear the thunder.
It's I guess it's kind of hard to hear it because the microphones on StreamYard are more, what's it called? You can only hear it right beside.
Well, I had the microphone towards the window. That's why.
well,
Still sometimes kind of hard to hear it.
Yeah, it's just
But
God bowling. That's what he's doing.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
up there bowling.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's throwing some strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, get a strike.
Yeah,
All right,
sometimes that's scary though. It will shake your house, it'll like one of those big booms and it scares the shit out of you.
Here, I'll show y'all.
LW, you ever went through a hurricane since you've been down there?
I've been through 5 hurricanes, brother.
They fun, ain't they?
Not really.
You know, and then these idiots go out there and say, "Oh, we're just going to stay through it." If you ain't never been in a real hurricane, if you've been through a real hurricane, you would never even think about staying in your house.
The worst is the freaking earthquakes. The earthquakes are so scary. There's nowhere to go.
A hurricane could set down at about 8 tornadoes spring out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's they're bad.
What state you live in, LW?
Oh, it's now raining. What the
Southeast
hell?
Texas.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you right now, when y'all see those, I'm going to do a little public service announcement here.
There you go.
When a hurricane hits and, all these charities and famous people and all the stuff, they raise this and they do their don't ever give those people a dime. I don't care if it's your favorite football player, because let me tell you something, that money never sees anybody.
You said that last night. We were talking about like those charities and
allegedly.
No, it's not. I mean, I know for a fact, so I mean, if we have to say it allegedly, fine. But what they do, like let's say some famous people do a concert and they raise $100 million for
Yes.
the hurricane victims. Well, first of all, like 60% of that goes to the administration, like the people who work there or whatever.
Mhm.
Then they just dump the money to places like pet shelters and food banks, and it just never gets to the people. I mean, how do you show up and ask a pet shelter, hey, do you have some of that money? They're just like, what are you talking
Right.
about?
Right. You do always wonder,
Oh.
like, where did all that money go? Because there'll be so many families that are still displaced, and you
Come on,
just
get
wonder,
ready.
like, how that happened. But we, similarly, there's a foundation that Ashton Kutcher and his wife started, which is called RAIN, and it's for children that have been sex trafficked and women that have been sexually abused in some way. And they somebody just did the looked at their tax returns or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
they took in like $10 million. Okay, that's how much they brought in. And they paid all their employees. They paid like all of everybody that was working for the foundation. They paid them like $9 million or
Got it.
whatever. And so literally that whole foundation is a fraud.
Yeah.
And that's been like a foundation that people, I mean, to this very day, I can go into a bunch of chats that I mod for, and people put that website, when there's a serious conversation going on, people will put that website in the chat, and it's not a good foundation apparently. And everybody, thinks that that's a great foundation. And I don't know why that is not been publicized, to the degree that it should have been, but it's not been. Somebody did some investigative reporting, and I checked into it and looked at it, and I went in a rabbit hole, and it's all true. I looked at all their finances, and it's crazy that they raised all that money for these victims. And and then Ashton Kutcher, literally wrote to the judge and wanted Danny Masterson to be let go and like to be easy on that guy. So
Well, they're going through this right now with the LA fires. There was like some
yes,
charity that raised $100 million, and everybody, all their people's homes are burned down. They go and try to find, where can we get some of this money that we see on TV?
right,
We raised
right.
$100 million for the fire victims, and not a single one of them know where to get it.
Yeah, that
That's crazy.
Spencer and Heidi, Spencer and Heidi, if you remember them from like Laguna Beach and the Hills or whatever, believe it or not, those two are still married. And that Spencer is a real, like, he is a doll, and he is just turned into just such a nice man, where he's just a great husband and father, but he's real funny or whatever. But their house burned to the ground, and he's tried, he didn't have house, he like, they dropped their homeowners insurance. They couldn't afford their homeowners insurance, and so he just wants and they can't afford to rebuild. They're screwed. They have no home, they have nothing now, and there's nothing that he can do about it either. And except for, like, I guess his wife has put out a single, and he's on TikTok and stuff right now. But he's like trying to sell purses and stuff on TikTok. He's doing whatever he can to try and so that they can rebuild. But that's impossible to rebuild when you live out there, like where they were living. That's when they
Yeah.
made all of their money at one point. But I guess when you are struggling like that, and you can either have your home, or you can pay. I mean, there's some bills that can go to the wayside, and they let their homeowners lapse. They let it
Yeah.
lapse for 2 months. Yeah.
I know somebody, like during Hurricane Harvey, at the time, they didn't have insurance. They already owned the home, already had it paid off or whatever, but for whatever reason, they didn't have like the flood insurance or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's it.
So-
Yeah, you have to have separate flood insurance.
So it just wiped out the house. It's like, 6 feet of water inside.
Oh,
And
how awful.
so FEMA gave them like 10 grand to fix the house, but it cost 30 grand to fix the house.
Yeah.
Oh no.
She had to get she took the 10 grand and found somebody at her church. She gave them the 10 grand, but the guy floated he did all the work, the other $20,000 worth of work for free. But he was like, I'll just do it in my extra time. So it took like almost a year and a half for him to do it, but such a great guy. He, on the weekends, on holidays, he would come over and do it a little bit at a time, and he did it for free. Well, I mean, he lost money on it, fixing it.
Sure. Kind of like that Habitat for Humanity,
Right?
I guess, right?
I'm sure somebody's going to have a negative saying on it, but I kind of miss having Jerry Lewis telethons back in the day.
Oh yeah, those were great.
They were really good, and I never heard anybody say nothing about it, about how much of the money went, but they would disclose it, and it sounded pretty reasonable, because you do got to have people to organize it and take time out to do shit. But the biggest part goes to there. And hospitals like St. Jude's.
St. Jude's.
Oh my God, dude. What a bless. Ronald McDonald House. Come on.
Yeah.
Me and Nate know a few streamers that every year, or all throughout the year, they raise money for St. Jude, but every year they'll go to St. Jude and they actually set them up a room or two where all their streaming equipment is in there, and they stream from the hospital and raise money while they're there. They do all these like games and stuff during streams, like not just video games, but like tic-tac-toe or funny games they make up for people to watch, and all the money they raise there goes to St. Jude, and they have like $1 million goal every year, and they always surpass it.
Who does it? What's their names?
It's Dr. Lupo.
And they're on here?
They're not, we don't know them personally, but they're on YouTube.
Okay, and they're Dr. Lupo?
Yeah, and you can just look up his St. Jude streams, and if they ever pass 1 million, he'll shave his head or he'll do something, but they go out throughout the day and they'll meet with the kids. He has a younger son, and he'll let him stream live to all the viewers, and while the kid is streaming, the other streamers will go out throughout the hospital and meet people, and just like I said, it doesn't take a lot to be kind.
No.
And I think that's the biggest problem with our world is it's what can I get for it?
For sure. And you know what?
That's the only one. That's the only one I will ever vouch for.
Yeah, you said that last night. If you won $1 million, you would give half of it.
Yeah, I mean, because my sister passed away when we were kids. When she was 10, she had a brain tumor, and they actually.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's all good, but I appreciate it. But they actually go out of the way. It's not just you have to go seek them out. They help you. Like they have people that they'll call you. And
and they put your family up too, right? Not just the patient, but the family, like how the Ronald McDonald House does.
They make sure your kid is gonna get treated, and they're gonna feed your family. They're gonna do it's,
everything.
For sure, it's a great organization.
That's awesome. Amazing. You know what? That's funny that you said that about the YouTubers, because I know years back there was a couple of females that tried to do that same sort of thing at St. Jude. So this Dr. Lupa or whatever, he must be bringing in a lot of money, because these girls tried to go to St. Jude, and you can't just go in there. These kids are sick, and they've got cancer and their immune systems are down, and they tried to go in there, and they were not allowed to go in there, and in fact the police came and made them leave, and like followed them out of the the parking lot. It was a big to do. So
Lupo's he's one of the biggest. Did you ever hear of, like, when Fortnite became really big, did you ever hear of the streamer called Ninja?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Lupo was one of his group guys. Yeah. And so he was just one of them that kind of made it big. And the other ones, they've all kind of gone their own way. They're all big streamers, but he's been the main one to like really try to do good in the world. And he's not perfect, but he's just one of those that he says whatever he wants to say on stream, but when it comes to like St. Jude, like the stream time at the church or at the hospital, there's no cussing, there's no, because they
Sure.
know a lot of kids watch it.
Yeah.
But it's just, like I said, it's just one of those that he says it all the time. Nate, you've heard him where he's like, he's got enough money. He doesn't need to sit here and try to make money off of people. He makes enough money doing what he does. But if he can help somebody out or help a kid or a family for just another year.
I hope he knows that there are a bunch of charities that if you have a charity stream like that or whatever, and if YouTube approves it, they will match whatever you raise.
Oh, I'm
don't know,
guessing
like there's a lot of YouTubers that have no idea that happened or that is a thing, but it is a thing.
In the city. Wow.
And they will match anything that you raise, and it's just they'll do it for St. Jude, or they'll do it for it has to be like a reputable charity.
Yeah.
So, but they'll do it. So make sure he knows that, okay?
I'll super chat him because he's got like 2 million subs. So
he probably knows already, but a lot of people don't, and because they don't advertise it much. But I'm just one of those people that knows, or I read the terms of service and like about every 6 months, and I go through it with a fine tooth comb. But that's one of the things that they do. So
that's really cool, and it's funny because you say if he did know that and YouTube matched it, he actually matches everything up until 500,000.
Nice. Oh wow.
So it's definitely one of those where I could see him having YouTube do it as well, and but it just, I know it takes money to make money, but I think that's just something that'd be really cool, is to have something so big that you can profit enough to live your life comfortably, but still help people like Nate be good at video games.
It's a tax break for them too,
Yeah,
exactly. On YouTube, so it helps them out as well. The lawyer, which is a great guy on YouTube. He very objective, but he goes over these cases and stuff like that. And that's one of those guys that raised a bunch of money for the hurricane, and he put up $150,000 of it, or he wanted to raise $150,000. And then he was matching it up to 150,000. And so his chat got him to 150,000, and then he matched it.
Wow.
So, and I don't know if he did it through that YouTube thing, because then YouTube would have matched it. But I never heard anything about that he, signed up for that. See, a lot of people just don't know it's available.
Yeah. That's wild. I hope to be able to raise enough money one day that I can make Nate good at video games.
Yeah.
That's good, Nate.
Nate, you're good at video games.
He just took a shot at you, Nate.
Hey, it was a low blow, but it was a joke. It was a joke.
He hit you in the ankles there. That's for damn sure.
Well, I didn't know it was a joke.
I got your back, Nate. I would never. Never.
Nate's too tall for me to hit him in the stomach. So it was on the ankle. It was on the ankles or the knee, Nate.
You get a knee shot. I'm taking out your knees, big boy.
Even TB met me in person, so
yeah,
he's tall.
Nate's the only one I can wear high heels around. But Nate, did you like the trivia yesterday or Sunday? Because I think Traveling Fools was inspired by your astronomy stuff, because he did a whole thing on astronomy, did like the signs and stuff. Yeah, and I was thinking about you when I was watching that.
Well, I was probably asleep, so
well, he did a whole section on astronomy. And I thought,
I will go back watch it back. Sorry, TF, if I missed it. But thank you for thinking of me, though. I mean, Now,
say hello to
what
Nate.
do you mean by astronomy? Like space or just the?
He did like the signs, like
Oh
he
yeah.
was putting up like what the little symbols were, and then he put,
Mhm.
which one was, was this Sagittarius, or you call spaghetti,
Oh yeah.
or whatever it is, like was this the Taurus or the Gemini or whatever it was, and then you
Now the thing
picked
is
on it.
about astrology is it's kind of like your birth I guess sign whatever.
Yes,
I'm Virgo,
yes,
which
that's
I'm a
a good
lobster.
one to
I'm a
have.
lobster.
You
Only,
are,
but
I'm a
only the
lobster.
good
Yeah.
people are Virgos, Nate.
yeah, Virgos are good.
I'm a
Yeah.
Virgo.
Well, who's
and
bad? If there's a good one, what's the bad one?
I mean,
Cancer,
I'm the bad way.
Everybody else.
Gemini. I'm a Gemini, and people are like, "Ooh, not a Gemini."
a guy right here. Oh, ouch!
Uh,
Almost fell.
Yeah, Geminis are bipolar usually.
Oh
Mm,
no.
mm.
So wait, am I getting to see the nice side of her?
I
Yeah.
mean, they say that there's two sides to them, but I'm pretty much the same all the time. Like I
Oh,
don't really have the.
it's lurking deep inside her. Trust me. Like every other.
Oh, Mr. Duggar knows.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I said the other day. I've Traveling Fools and I were talking about that. He dated a girl too. I dated a girl back in the day who was all into that stuff.
Yeah,
And she'd tell me about it, like this person is this way, and
yeah,
I kind of
goofy
looked. I was
shit.
like, yeah, I can see, basic like personality traits and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I think everybody has their own life experiences that make them an individual.
Yeah, I could say that I'm a Gemini and somebody would go, yeah, I could see that. And then I could say I'm a Virgo and it'd be like, I could see that.
Uh-huh. Very
Like,
true.
So
I could make up an astrology name and somebody go, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
for what's it called compatibility.
Compatibility, yeah.
Yeah.
So it has this site or app has like you pick like you basically experiment, like pick each one, see if it matches
Mhm.
and or compatible or whatever. According to I guess the compatibility reports, Capricorn is the way to go, I guess.
Oh, for
Is
you,
it?
Nate? So we just got to
Yeah.
get you some buttered Capricorn?
Yes.
I'm buttered up in a bucket, baby.
It even says about the sexual part.
Oh,
Don't do that.
No,
Let's get past
You
first
got to
base
put a
first.
ring on it.
Yeah.
You got to put
I
a ring
know.
on it first.
Let's
Look,
find
once you
out
put a
if
ring on
Nate-
it, Nate, you can hit as many home runs as you want. So we're going to
Oh.
first base right now.
Mhm.
Nate gonna show up going, listen, baby, I'm a Virgo, you're a Capricorn. I think it's time for us to go make babies.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Let's
that's
get
it.
down to it. We're compatible. Let's make this a scientific experiment and just get right on to the loving right now.
It even
Going
says about
to
the
the chapel.
And then we'll go eat a nice dinner.
You know what? That doesn't. You know what, Nate? I say do it. That doesn't sound
Nate,
bad.
what kind of ladies do you like? Like, what is your? I mean, what do you like? Do you like blonde hair girls? Do you like dark haired
I really
girls?
don't have preference, to be honest.
What? No, Nate, you have a
Everyone's
preference.
got a preference.
Yeah. You
He's
like
like
little.
breathing.
You like little people, Nate.
Breathing.
You like little
I-
people.
I love little people.
Wait, no. I mean,
If
like,
I had
is that
pick
your
No
preference?
reason to live.
if
I'm
I
saying,
pick
is that your preference though?
preference, no
Because
offense.
you know
no.
you're like 6'5", Nate. I can see that being your preference. Is
What do you mean
having
Yeah.
by
somebody that's
what do you mean by little people? Like 5'5" or
No, like 4'6",
like the.
like
How do-
midgets, but
that's
they're
I was
too
called
gonna
little
short
say I
for me,
didn't
people.
know what to
Thompson.
call them. I didn't know.
Yeah, they're called little people, but formerly known as midgets.
We call them the wee people, we do.
But no, I'm for my height range for a girl. It's probably I would like a tall girl, not gonna lie,
Oh,
but If I can't get a tall girl, probably like 5'8".
Nate's first girlfriend was like 4 foot, and he was nuts over her.
Ha ha
She
ha.
was. She was nuts over me.
Nate, he's talking about something else.
He's talking about your private parts.
I was not. Quit saying that to Nate. He's early age.
No. But
Nate, I
Nate,
think you ought to give her a better shot.
I'm gonna keep
I
my
know.
eye out for you. I think I'm a good matchmaker. I promise. I really am a good matchmaker. I've had tons of couples that I've match made that got married and only one divorce. 7
Oh.
of them, as a matter of fact, 7 couples.
Yeah, I mean, I had some friends since elementary school. Now they're like doing their own thing, which they're out in probably done in college by now.
Yeah.
I never went to college, so
Did you say Amish? Pardon me.
no,
No.
college.
Oh, I thought you said something about Amish.
You should.
No.
Do you have any like social groups, like any church groups that you go to, or any kind of thing that
Yeah.
you do socially? Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to go to a church group. It's been a while since I did it.
Yeah.
But there's this one girl I like. Just kind of scared. Well, I won't say scared. It's this little.
It's a numbers game, though. You
Worried.
just got to ask them and just keep asking. And if she
Nate,
says no, you go on to somebody else and ask them.
Nate, don't listen to this woman. Do not listen to this woman.
Hey, hold on now.
What you
seems
do
like
is you
she knows
get
what's
your
up.
rose. You show up looking pricky dicky like a straight up soldier, and you walk up and you just hand her a couple of nice roses and says, I couldn't help but I had to throw flowers at you. Who are you? What is your sign? If you,
No.
whatever.
That wouldn't work on me.
It will do. I guarantee you, girl, I would have had your panties up my flagpole in about
Whoa.
2 hours.
Excuse me?
I'll give you 2 hours. But I'd have to listen to a bunch of you before I did that. But just let you know,
So
I was Rick James, bitch. What you talking about?
Yeah,
Come
that
on.
wouldn't have happened.
You'd be surprised what would happen.
No, I already know what would have happened.
I was
and
very stop-off fair. Now I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying that, like, I have to be in love for anything like that to happen. So,
Well, that's why I gave you a whole 2 hours.
oh, I see.
You'd be in love with me in that first, second hour. I guarantee it.
All right.
I'm adorable. I am just adorable as I can be. I'm telling you.
No, I think that's
yeah.
What
Yeah,
about a dating app?
Oh, Nate.
I hate dating apps. Even TV's hearing me rant about it.
But
Church, son. You'll find her in your church.
Church, but a dating app wouldn't be bad though, because then you could do like a little profile, and then you can kind of go through and pick
a Christian dating app.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, Nate, I would say you probably want a Christian one, but I'll tell y'all, I know Nate doesn't want me to tell it, but I'll tell you. Basically, Nate had a bad experience.
Oh, I see.
And
but
so,
you got to get back on the horse though. If you have a bad experience, you got to. That's not everything, Nate.
The only problem I have with dating apps, you have to pay to get everything you need to chat. So
what? No, you got to pay.
Yeah. Yes, you need to pay. Even on eHarmony, you need to pay. Even on Match.com, you need to pay.
I was gonna say I don't think you have to pay on Tinder.
Or
you need to pay on Tinder.
Tinder is more. Isn't that just hookups though?
Yeah.
Tinder. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is. Sorry.
Rarely.
Yeah, we noticed that, Outlaw.
But I think like is Plenty of Fish or Christian.com, you have to pay.
Tried, but
what's $10 for your happiness? If the Lord says He's gonna looking in my name, I'm gonna bless him.
But Nate, like what we need to do?
What could go wrong? Look at what could go right, son. Come on.
Why don't we look at what we'll do, Nate? Is we should just go through and we'll make a profile for you, and we'll help you with your profile. so that
Yeah.
it'll be like we'll take a cute picture of you because you're as cute as can be, and you're tall, and you're a nice looking boy. And we'll make an application for you, and then just see what happens. And if it doesn't go right the first time, then you go back in and you look again.
Hey, I agree, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to, like she said, it's time to get back on that horse.
Mm-hmm. And I'll
I mean,
help you with it.
I have a crush on this girl that I know that since high school, but she's also Christian. But I don't know if she. Sheesh.
Go
Yeah.
hand her a flower, Nate.
But the thing is, I think she's like she graduated like 2 years after me, so that means she's
A little younger.
but she's not 18 or 19.
That's all right. As
So
long as
my
it's within 4 years of you, you're fine.
yes, I picked my age range for me. I'm
Yeah.
either one like 20 to 24. So
Yeah.
that's my age range. So I mean, I'm only 23. So
Nate, just like, how old are you? You're only 23, is it 23?
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, like, make that age range a little wider. You don't, instead of just 4 years,
She's got to be 21 then. And she was 2 years behind
I
you.
think. Well, yeah, I think so. She might be 21.
Or 20 at least.
Either way, she's old enough, Nate.
She's old enough, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I should show her. I'm not gonna do that.
Whoa! Show her what, Nate? Hold on.
No.
Slow down, Nate.
No dick pics.
No.
That Crispy is anti dick pics.
Unless you send them to her to approve.
None of those.
What you need to worry about, Nate, is like just hang out. Ask him on a date. Just have a good time. Don't put pressure on yourself. Like, oh, is this going to be the one, or love, or like just meet girls and just have a good time, and it'll work out in the end.
Yes.
Now I want this. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, and the tough part too is at his age. I mean, and I deal with it because I coach 40 something kids every month.
Right.
Like I deal with a lot of kids. I've had for the last 10 years. Like it's so tough to be a kid in this world because of the pressure of social media, of constantly seeing people get the greatest thing, even if it's fake. That's all you see.
It is all you see.
And so now you have, kids like you just said, LW, like you're going out going, is this the one? Oh my goodness, like because that's all you see is every time you turn around, there's an engagement. There's, going to Buc-ee's and proposing to your girl, or Dunkin' Donuts, just like I said.
So these big romantic gestures that are happening where, the girl walks in and there's roses all over and candles all over.
Yeah.
But those internet relationships always break up, and there's always, it's just
Hey, hold on, Nate, let her talk.
Oh no, that's okay. I was finished. I was just saying that those internet relationships seem to just be for show, and they're not what you think that they are, so don't feel pressured over seeing what you see on the internet, because a lot of times it's just fake.
Best advice anybody ever going to give you. You trust your heart and you go with it, and check
your mind.
And check your mind to talk you out of it, that you're not worthy of her, because she is all that in a bag of chips. That's what's making you attracted to her. It's also causing you to keep not taking the initiative to step up and being self-assured enough to go, yeah, we're going to have a nice house one day. You don't start off like that on her. You got
just friends.
It's time to meet you, and it's time for you to meet me. Because you're on my mind a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just step up and put prayer to God and ask God for your woman. It's time.
It's not. Yeah. Go ahead, Nate.
Whoa.
Talk to God, man. He'll bring her to you. Everything is possible through Him.
Yeah, he's awful
So-
young still.
It's just my experience, Nate. Girls, like if you can make girls laugh, you're halfway there. Girls aren't really
Yes.
into like how cool you are, or, like if you can make girls laugh and they like your sense
Oh,
of
I
humor,
did.
you're halfway there.
Oh, you're halfway there then, Nate.
Look,
That's
I
my first. That's
even
the most
look.
important.
You want to know a funny story? I even make 3 girls laugh on a cruise.
Yeah, you told us that story, and they were all
I'm-
laughing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's on film, I don't believe it.
I believe it.
I would. Nah, never mind. I will not do that.
Hey,
Well,
no
Nate,
part
you got
joke.
me laughing, and I want you.
But I think they were like around like 23-year-olds. I think
Yeah.
because, and plus they were from Florida, so
Don't
Oh,
tell
then
them the
that's a
cheat.
no-go.
Don't tell them the Cheeto story, the fart story.
no,
Leave
I'm
that
not.
Get
But,
you a t-shirt, Nate. Just put
but
on there.
thing
Say,
is-
I'm Nate, looking for a girlfriend.
But yeah, the thing is, they liked me a lot, and I mean, one of the girls looked at me while I was walking through, getting some breakfast. I didn't know
Ooh.
what to do, what that meant. So I said hello. That's probably creepy for them, but
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's not.
but
Not at
but
all.
the thing is, I think they. That's what they got their impressions. But I don't know. That's why the girls are really unpredictable. Not gonna lie, but
That's
They
why I
are.
say, Nick. Nate, that's why I say, let your heart rule you, not your brain. Because your brain's going to tell you you're not good enough. Or she didn't really look back and say, well, I think that's a good looking guy.
You're a very
You
good
know,
looking guy,
you know,
Nate.
it's separate. I mean,
I
I was
try.
going to make that remark about you shaving your beard. Dude, you look, that's the way you are. That's Nate's look right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need to
I
go
mean, I
get that.
miss some beard. I miss.
Go get that Justin Bieber curl back, and it'd be on.
I miss some spots, but it's perfect.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what I miss is phone
Sheesh.
battery. I didn't expect to be on here this long, but I'm
Oh,
gonna put my phone on the charger. I'm gonna keep listening
charger.
to you guys. LW, thank you for letting me come on, dude.
Oh,
CTV.
yeah. Thank you for coming up. I
Yeah.
enjoyed talking to you.
I appreciate you popping up, TB. It was fun to have you on, and if you're bored next Monday too, stop by again.
That I for sure will. See y'all. See you, Nate. See you, Mr.
Yeah. Bye,
Good night,
Nate, what's your name?
TV.
My
You say your name
brother,
was
take care.
Crispy.
Crispy treat. Yeah.
Crispy. All right, I'm gonna call. Well, I was gonna say CT, but CTE.
It's a K. It's a KT.
Oh, well, I'll call you. Yeah, KT then.
like
That's good.
Rice
Mhm.
Krispie treat. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, I'll see y'all later. Okay.
Okay.
CTV.
Bye, bye, hon.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Russ,
Later,
boy.
TB.
Yeah. I'm probably missing spots. Whatever. But
Yep.
You're a nice looking boy, Nate. And so, ask this young lady out and just go and have fun. Just do something casual and have fun and bring a couple of friends with you or whatever. And don't put a bunch of pressure on it, and
Now
see how it
Nate,
goes.
see, Nate, you got to stick up to girls like her. She just called you a very good looking young boy. You have to look at her and go, hey, you must call alligators lizards. You got to stand up for yourself. Man up. It's time for
that's funny.
Well, you're young.
Uh,
You're young to me. That's all.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
you're a
think
nice
you're
looking
more
man.
22, 23 yourself, huh? Crispy, what are you
That's right.
Where is
25?
39, remember?
Yeah, that's right. We're 39.
where is it?
Oh, hell, I'm at 42.
42.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just kidding.
Actually, I'm 65.
You like to say you're 42, but you're okay. I gotcha.
That was my funnest years, probably my 40s.
Yeah.
I was
I
more
thought 40s
self-aware of
sucked.
myself and my, not only monetarily but also aware of the world
Yeah.
and in my surroundings in my 40s. than I was in any time. That's when I got it.
Hmm.
It'll happen to every one of y'all one of these days, and it'll go click, and you got it.
Yeah, you
And
feel
Yeah, I
more
saw that.
confident.
yeah, and I just never met a stranger. I
Hmm.
just am gifted
That's
that
big
way, I
money.
guess. But
Yeah.
Sheesh.
anyway, good Lord, I think it's I done talked too much tonight anyway.
Well, it's thundering like non-stop over here, so it's just
Hmm.
uh, I don't know. It's like it's either guys like bowling like triple strikes against Turkey, or it's just I don't know. It's just
Hmm.
but there's um there's a well I was gonna show you the girl the like picture of her, so
Okay.
not a I know better, but
Yeah.
Do we
I
do we
already,
really want to show somebody else? Do they want that
well
picture shown on
that's
He's
the
what
gonna.
internet?
that's
Yes, I want to
oh my
see.
goodness, bro.
Sorry.
He
No,
knows
not needed.
better. I want to see Nate.
It's pouring rain now. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to find her. Lec. I'm not gonna say her.
Bacon has good advice. He says, I'll ask a simple question. Can you have a conversation with a stranger um at your gathering place of choice? If you have issues doing that, you have bigger problems than finding a partner. Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
So hopefully, she doesn't get mad. But here we go.
Let me see. Let me see what this chick looks like. Let's see my competition here.
Not you guys can see, right?
Yes. Oh, she's beautiful,
Yeah,
girl.
she's cute.
Oh, really cute.
She lives here, same city, so
She's beautiful, Nate. I can see why
yeah.
you like her.
Well, not about the body, it's just the way she you know
Yeah. She looks like a nice, wholesome girl. Very
she
pretty.
is, and
Mm-hmm.
she even knows me too. So, uh,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, she went to my graduation party, and
Aw.
I guess during 2020, the worst days of my life. Uh, um,
Mm.
but well, it's because I graduated in 2020.
Oh, and you didn't want to graduate?
No, it's just it was the second year to graduate.
Oh, yeah. My daughter graduated in the same. Did you
Yeah.
graduated during COVID?
Yep.
Yeah, same
I
with her.
apologize. I'll be right back. My man, this puppy. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
I apologize for the
All
noise
right.
over here.
I'm sorry,
It's all
Crispy.
right.
Can you hold it down? You're the
Yeah.
boss.
Yo, okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
big picture, everyone.
But
Uh,
yeah, my daughter she missed out on her prom and graduation, all that stuff, and I guess you did too.
Oh my.
What's the matter? The
Whoa.
storm, Nate?
No, it's just a non-stop thunder.
Yeah.
That's all. Well, I'm not, and I used to be afraid of thunder. I was just surprised how much thunder it is tonight.
Nate, if you were a dog, what kind of dog would you be?
That's a good question. What's my type? I'm a protector and a
Mm.
caring dog. So,
Mm.
um, and also a hunter. Well,
Oh, a Springer Spaniel.
I was gonna say a Texas healer.
Oh,
Well, no,
those
that's
are.
hyper. That's hyper. Or just some type of healer, because they're pretty good dogs to be around with
Mm.
and protect. They protect their owners of
Yeah.
Well, golden retriever could be a good one. Yeah, a lab.
Golden, yeah, a lab. I was gonna say lab or a golden retriever. Yeah, you would be,
My
yeah, for
my
sure.
my oldest dog, he's a lab and retriever mix. So
And Christy, what would you like? What kind of
What kind
dog
of
would you be?
dog? I don't know. Um, Probably like I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe maybe I don't know. I really have no idea what I would be. I don't know a bunch of dog breeds.
Uh,
me either. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this might sound bad, but
What would you be, Mr. Duggar?
I'd probably be a big old hound dog.
A big old hound dog? Ain't nothing
hound
but a hound
dog.
dog. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they ain't scared of nothing. They're good. They're good guards. If you have a good one, he's your house dog too. There's hunting dogs, real hunting dogs, and then there's hounds that's your buddy too. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I had a bunch of beagles that didn't get to sleep in my house. I had a bunch of hounds that didn't sleep in my house. They had
Hmm.
and we
Who
coon
would be
hunted
a
and rabbit hunted with them and hog
Yeah.
hunted with them.
who would
And
be a like pit bull?
Oh, yeah, not me. What
I'm
are those lady in the, what was that? What are those dogs in Lady and the Tramp? Those dogs
I
that's,
don't.
those are mutts. One was
Oh, not.
one was
no,
a cocker
the
spaniel.
ones that stand like with
Lady
they've
was
got
a
good
cocker
posture.
spaniel.
No.
Yeah,
They were like gray ones or whatever, and then the
Oh,
ones that
you know Scottish
stray.
Terriers.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
And
Where? Huh?
Lady and the Tramp. The lady dog was a cocker spaniel.
The one that ate the spaghetti out of like what
The,
she
the
was like a
male,
gray.
the male was a mixed dog.
I
oh,
don't know.
Yeah, he was a cur dog.
a stray dog. Until
Mr. Duggar asked, "What kind of a dog would you be?"
Hey, what kind of a dog would you be if you was a dog? Do you think, LW?
Well, I'm super smart, so I guess a German Shepherd.
Oh,
I was just being an
that's
asshole.
ferocious.
Sorry. No, they're sweet dogs.
I love German Shepherd. That's my second favorite. Well, it's hard for me to choose between
Oh, come on, Nate.
wiener dogs
I know.
and German Shepherds. I've always had them both at the same time. I had one that was a burglar alarm, the other one was the burglar getter. You know, the coyotes knew my house was a trap. They don't mess with the little dude. He's got a buddy.
yeah. And plus, I heard coyotes can mess with your dogs.
Oh yeah, they'll snatch a little dachshund up and have it eat him.
Well, I heard sometimes, like with the big ones, they'll join the, I guess, pack. But I don't know. We have coyotes here too, but
Yeah.
we're rare to see them. They're more in the grasslands and
We
stuff.
got some big dog coyotes out here. I'm telling you.
I believe it. I even been to New Mexico twice.
Oh,
Wow.
Back when one of my grandmas was living there. When
Was
she
she
was
in Santa Fe?
either Albuquerque or Santa Fe, I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was Albuquerque. But yeah, most of those houses looks Mexican. No offense, but it just looks
that's all
cool.
right. The like Spanish
You're talking
houses.
about adobe wall.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
That's actually
Yeah.
Indian. Is more
Where
Indian.
everything's like rounded.
yeah. And
It's,
plus,
dirt.
They have rounded arches. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Dude, I lived in one forever, and it stayed around 59 degrees, 61 degrees in that adobe, as long as you didn't open the doors a bunch, It was naturally cool house, and then you go down in the basement, and it really got cold.
Oh, that's the same here for me. It's like my basement is fucking freaking cold
Mm-hmm.
every season. So
Yeah, because
so
it's
basically,
underground.
The one
well,
thing I don't get about it, the houses here, is the flat roofs.
yeah,
I just really don't, I don't get it.
yeah,
You
and
know,
also yeah, the thing about we all know that my basement's cold, but the thing is about my basement is I used to go down there all the time when I had my PS5 because most like Duggars, LW, you all seen my basement before or my whole
yeah,
house.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. Tour house again, but
I just seen lightning in your yard.
I know it's nonstop.
Well, you're in the basement. That's good.
No, I'm in my room.
Oh, whoops. I thought your room was in the basement. No.
No, my I call it main cave. When I had
Yeah.
when I had my PS5 down there, and we moved up here, and I had this big TV on
Yeah.
my dresser and stuff, um and we yeah, it's a nice basement. It's just cold every year.
Cold. Yeah.
Like even the winter, when you go
Mm-hmm.
down there, you need a
Space
heavy
heater.
jacket, like heavy jacket or a heater.
Yeah. Get your
It's
little
that
space
bad.
heater or something. They're like $15, Just
It's
put it down
it's
there.
it's even that bad. Obviously, it's it's bad in winter. It's just when it's like
Mm-hmm.
-2 plus the windshield, it's
Mm-hmm.
worse. And Douglas would probably know that probably with the windshield probably.
Wind
Uh,
chill.
when
Yeah.
when it's like below -degrees
Yeah.
with
Mm-hmm.
windshield, it makes it worse. Jeez. Uh, uh, it's just awful. It's
Yeah. Like if it's 20 degrees and the wind is real hard, it feels like it's -5. Yeah.
exactly that's what we
Yeah.
have here.
It all feels
And,
like -5 after 30 degrees.
Right.
Where are you, Nate? What part of the country are you in? Oh, you don't have to tell me. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
this will tell you.
Well, how's that?
Not really. There's hills everywhere.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go. That's where I live.
I
okay.
live everywhere, man. Cross the Rio
I live
Grande.
in Nebraska.
Oh,
I've
Nebraska's
never,
nice.
I've never been in a house with a basement.
You not? Oh my
Never.
goodness.
Well,
There's no
Yeah, I've
basement.
never lived in
Yeah.
a house that didn't have a basement,
we
except
had a
Really?
California.
we had a
California didn't have
we had
one.
a ping pong table in our basement.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a
I
many
had
a battle gone on that ping pong table.
Same,
There.
Mr. Ducker.
You
you know
just
what
don't
happened?
have you just don't have basements here because of flooding.
We
Mm-hmm.
don't. Yeah, but the thing is, where I live, well, they're probably flooding once or twice every year or whatever, or year, and but the it's more of the Missouri River comes. It's more of downtown, but uh, and it's downtown area is like near the Missouri River and near Council Bluffs, which is in Iowa. But it's like you know how long the Missouri River is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but jeez, uh, um, but yeah, it's one of the years I think it was 2017. I think it was really bad where the flooding was like up to like some apartments but this is like downtown, not like
Yeah.
all downtown, but most some of it, and all Omaha uh, Power Plant District OPPD.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. And they had to you know rescue the what do you call it I forgot
Spit
what
it out,
they're
Frank.
called. It's the owners of their houses and stuff. It was
Yes.
bad. It's just
Yeah. People had to go
um.
on rescue missions because it was so bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Also, that one storm. I think tornado. There was a tornado like right near my house, or just near my house.
Mhm.
I'm not even joking you. Not right now, but
Yeah.
I'll show you
Good one,
if
buddy.
it's okay. Now the one right here, I think is like right near where I was.
Mhm.
I thought it was the EF3, but
What's an EF3?
so like a medium tornado.
Oh.
Here,
Oh. I thought you were
oh,
gonna say like some kind of a
Man, that's a
spaceship or
tornado.
something.
yeah,
Jeez,
look at that.
that's
Look at
massive.
that thing. That was your neighborhood?
Yeah. Oh, let's turn it down.
Yeah, they sound like a train.
Yeah, they do.
That's what
Mhm.
that's what we have.
And they
But
get
no,
it gets real still first.
that's where
and
it
then
gets
sounds like a
loud
train.
too.
Plus, they got
Mhm.
the tornado alarm going off.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what it is. Yeah, and that tornado, and that Elkhorn or the water tower, this is like two neighborhoods from my house.
Wow.
It, where's this going to? It's different. That's
yeah.
near my house.
That's scary.
It just rips. It was bad. And now
Mhm.
us Midwesterners are built different because we're like staying out there. We're supposed to not to, but we
Mhm.
have the balls to stay out there. And just record.
You didn't stand out there with that.
No,
Oh Lord,
no,
have mercy. Mhm.
no.
Did you get in the bathtub?
No, we have it downstairs. Remember, I
Oh, that's
was
right. You have a basement.
downstairs. Yeah, I was downstairs in the downstairs hallway, but see right there. That's
a big dude, man.
Mhm.
that's where my that's okay. Pause. That's where I used to not that building, but the building over here where I used to go to middle school and see all the people go over there.
Mhm.
That's some. It's really bad. I think it's downtown Elkhorn. Yeah, it is. It was bad.
Mhm.
Now, I seen that close in one of my family friends.
You can turn it down so we can hear you.
Here.
Wow, look at that bad thing. I've seen them, man. They just like that, too.
But the thing is, I was at a family member's house sometime like 2012. This is off of Maple Street. One of our streets. But look at that thing, though. They even think there was an F3. It was an F2. That's bullshit. There's an F3. Might even be F4. Not gonna lie. Because you know.
Meteorologist Nate.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know why people are still driving.
Yeah, you gotta watch for like when it gets real still and quiet outside, and as soon as it gets quiet and like the leaf, it's just dead quiet and the leaves get real still. That's time to get your ass in the basement.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, is the most terrified I ever was my mom dropped me off. I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade, but she dropped me off, and like it wasn't 5-10 minutes before we got in there. It was a tornado drill, or not a drill, but a tornado. Like, all the kids go out.
Yeah.
Put your, get in the hallway, get on your knees, and put your head, like your arms over your head, and like a part of a tree came through a window, and I was so terrified for my mom that
Oh.
because she had just dropped me off like 5 minutes before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was like in 3rd grade. I was just crying in the hallway. I hope my mom is
Aw.
okay.
Bless your little heart. Yeah, those tornado tornado warnings? What is it? Is it there's a tornado watch and a
Sirens,
tornado
warnings,
warning?
yeah.
Yeah. I always thought
Now the
that
warnings, yeah.
yeah,
Now the
it's the
Yeah,
warnings,
watch is like
trigger.
it
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 might
might.
come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
warning is like there's some,
Yeah.
you know,
Like get your ass in
funnel
the basement.
activity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
that one is trying to form a tornado, is get all the suction
Yeah.
up and stuff.
You're
but it's
kind of
kinda
in Tornado
struggling.
Alley over there, aren't you, in Nebraska?
Well, it used to be Tornado Alley. I think
Mm-hmm.
Low W probably agreed with this. Probably they shifted more south more often.
Well, that thing's
Yeah.
spawning.
But look at this aftermath.
I mean, I'm in Cincinnati, so we get tornadoes.
But look at that aftermath, though. Look all these modern houses destroyed.
Oh yeah. I had a boyfriend that when he was little, we had like a horrible tornado like in the 70s, and he was older than I am, but he was little, and him and his brother had like they had beds. They shared the same room. And he said that he remembered in the middle of the night that his mom came and grabbed him, and his dad went and grabbed his brother. And he said, like, within 10 seconds, the whole roof, they went running downstairs. The parents did with both boys. And they were, as soon as they hit the steps and went running down, the whole roof was torn off, and their beds were found like, I don't know, like 20 miles away or something like that. And he said the whole roof was ripped off and their beds went flying. He said within seconds of their parents, grabbing them, which, God, how scary is that, But he said he loved it because he said he got to get all kinds of new toys with the insurance company.
Yeah.
He said he just made up a bunch of stuff that he always wanted.
Now, as far as you can tell, and I'm just joking around with this, but it's besides the tornadoes, there's no corn.
No corn.
Yeah.
When you're
Well,
close to one,
Yeah.
it's right before it happens. It's just weird. Like it'll be windy and rainy and stuff, and then it just
Yeah.
stops raining.
Yep.
But you can almost feel the air being sucked.
Mm-hmm.
up.
Yeah.
And it's this weird fucking like green color.
And
Yeah.
plus, those houses just got built.
How awful. That's
And,
heartbreaking.
Yeah, and plus, I think most of them weren't bought yet. So, how much is left?
Well,
a little bit.
that thing was dropping babies all around there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now that's cornfields right there. But yeah, that aftermath is just devastating. That day we lost like what was it? Holy crap! No, that was near my house too.
What was that movie? What was that movie with the tornadoes years ago with Helen Hunt? What was that movie called?
Twister.
Flying cows.
Yeah.
Twister.
Twister.
It's pretty-
that was it.
It's pretty fucking eerie too. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like in Harvey, when it hit,
Oh.
it was just hell on earth, and there was tornadoes
Yeah.
up and down the freeway right here where I live, and I mean it's just fucking chaos. But then the eye went right over us. That's a trippy thing.
I remember Harvey.
Now-
I remember Katrina.
Are you going to stay the next time, LW?
Well, it depends. I mean, I don't know if what was it? Was it Hurricane Rita? It was a giant one that was coming straight for Galveston, and
Was
then
it Ian? No.
everyone in Harris County, there's like 5 million people in Harris County. So everybody was trying to get out at the same time. And the hurricane took a right turn and went up to Louisiana instead. So it never hit here. Like at the last minute, it just went right.
I think that is Rita
Yeah.
that did that. Mm-hmm.
But there was 5 million people trying to get out of the county at the same time. So on I-10 West, like heading towards San Antonio, the traffic was just dead. People actually died of like heat exhaustion on I-10.
Oh my God.
Helicopters were dropping like porta potties in the middle of the freeway.
Oh.
Why not water?
Well, they were doing all that stuff, yeah.
Well, okay, I was not sure
But
if they did that.
I was
too.
trying to get out of there, and I was trying to get to my mom's house, and I got stuck on the traffic out of there. It was probably about 4.5 hours. I was sitting parked on the street.
Oh my
Like
God.
we would get out, and like I was sitting on people just get out and sit on top of their cars. Like we're just stuck for 4 hours.
That
How
sucks.
awful.
Well,
How
good
come
thing
you
I don't
didn't
live
leave
in Houston.
earlier? You just
What's
didn't?
that?
That's a good thing I don't live in Houston.
Yeah.
Did you you didn't leave earlier because you just didn't know if it was going to really come or what? Because I mean, don't you have pretty good notice that they're coming, right?
Right, but everybody was trying to do it at the same time. I mean,
Same
5
time,
million
yeah.
people. There's only a certain amount of roads.
That's true. Yeah.
5 million people all going in the same direction.
Yeah, that's true.
And some of them women drivers. Oh my God.
Right.
Right.
Let me see what states what top states has the worst drivers. Let me see.
I mean, boys are typically their insurance is higher because they're worse drivers than women.
That
Correct.
Mhm.
as the
That's true.
worst.
Yeah. So your theory, Mr. Duggar, is out the
Right.
window.
Okay. I will say this. You look exceptionally pretty tonight. Thank you.
Oh,
Is that a little bow?
appreciate that.
I like that.
So according to Google, I found out that's the top states that has top states with the worst drivers are 1, Utah. Okay. 2, California. Go figure.
California is a nightmare.
Number 3 is really surprising to me, which is Iowa. Mississippi.
Tractors got up that speed.
Right? Mississippi is 4.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Nevada. Who lives in Nevada?
That's Las Vegas.
Well, that's about it.
People.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know I'm just joking, but Tennessee, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Florida should be higher. Arizona, and then Texas, and then South Carolina.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, my car insurance was it's like $250 a month until I was like 25. Crazy.
Was it really?
Yep.
Yeah, because you boys speed. You're pyromaniacs and you're speed demons.
oh my goodness.
I agree with that.
Every time lightning mate goes, oh my goodness.
I tell you what, that was our computer and our TV because you got kicked out of the house during the day anyway. If you didn't have a job, you still couldn't stay home. You had to get the hell out and do something, and most time it was underneath the hood of a car. Car set you free to go fishing, or do whatever, and that was an important thing back then, man. Yeah, but I drove cool cars. I drove like 1937 Plymouths, 42 Fords, all kinds of shit, and old Rambler wagon. That was probably one of the coolest cars I ever had. Was that old Rambler wagon? It had a push button transmission in it.
Now, Duggars, if I still don't have a driver's license or just permit in general. But when I do get one, I want a pickup truck, that I don't want a new one right off the bat. I want I don't know what year, but what year of like some pickup trucks that you like that are durable for like traveling and stuff? What's your
Being your stature, I would suggest, a GMC.
GMC?
It goes against everything I want to scream, but just for comfort for you. Or if you don't do that, you go into an F-250.
Okay.
I think you should go into an Uber.
I would do that anyway, but
Yeah.
that's fun. But an old Tahoe is a good car for you. It's not a truck, but it'll pull a trailer.
I had a Tahoe once.
My dad had a
Nate, what the hell are you going to pull a trailer? He ain't going to pull a trailer.
He needs to go in
trailer?
an Uber. You go in an Uber, you don't have to pay for insurance, you don't have to pay for gas, you don't have to pay for any
the thing
of that.
about Uber, you have to pay though.
Yeah, I know. Well, you have to pay for a car. You have to pay for a
And
car
upkeep,
insurance, gas, all of that. You could just pay for an Uber, and you can don't and save the trouble.
Unless you pay with cash. Unless
What?
you pay cash.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. You got all kinds of money.
sometimes you just have to wreck the car to pay to collect the insurance to pay the car note too, don't you?
Now, yeah, I drove
at the redneck way.
No,
the closest
you don't
the closest
do that.
I've driven car.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. The closest thing I ever drove a car was a UTV, which is a side by side.
They're legal here in my town. You can actually drive them. You have to get them all the lights and stuff, and get them registered to drive. But they do drive a lot of Polarises on the road here.
I saw a guy today that was on this motorcycle, right? And it was just like one of these, I don't know, it was kind of an effeminate motorcycle, and it was like this guy was like a kind of a big, he was built pretty big. He was a black guy, and he had this slow, like, romantic song just blaring. I mean, just the knob ripped off, and it was I don't know. It seemed so weird. I mean, it was just blaring, and it was just like a real lovey-dovey song. And I just was thinking how stupid he looked with that song going. It just, like, I don't know. I think he just thought he looked so cool, and then he had that song playing. It just made me laugh. He looked crazy.
Wow, that is funny.
Yeah, well, you'd had to see it.
I drove big bikes all my life, and I just got tired of getting hit by caged drivers. No matter how good I drove, there was other people that that didn't pay attention. And the last one lumped me up pretty good. So, and Barb asked me to swear off of it, and I said, okay, I will. And so they brought out the new Indian Chief, and I was looking at it, and I was, I can do this, and she said, what you doing? I said, oh, I'm looking at the new Chief, because I'd been dreaming about having a real nice Indian bike. And she whipped out her camera, and she said, do you remember these pictures? And I literally looked like a fucking, excuse my language, a mummy, and my arm up in a sling. I had 3 broke ribs. I had a big knot on my head, broke shoulder bone. It hurt to laugh, to pee, to crap, to breathe. And I go, yeah, I remember those days. She goes, was that your fault? I go, no, ma'am. As I started talking to her, ma'am, no, ma'am. She said, are you going to get a bike, Douglas Themis? I go, no, ma'am. I see she was wise. She was wise. She saved me from myself. But I love motorcycles, man. I love to ride them.
Oh, I
You know,
love
I just
motorcycles too. I love to ride them as well. I really do. I don't drive them, but I like to be a passenger on them.
I'm a bad host. I just now read the private chat. Gigi said she was back at 1 o'clock, 1:02.
Yeah, and then by the time I noticed it, I don't know when she came back. I didn't see her come back.
Yeah, she was in the backstage. I guess she finally left, but she could have like texted me or emailed me or something.
Right.
Damn, I didn't know she was hanging back there.
Well, she had the StreamYard. She had the link.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think she was, screwing with that computer.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's getting late. I think I'm gonna call it. But I appreciate everybody who showed up in chat. Bacon, Esso still here. Maven went to bed. I appreciate everybody. Everybody who joined the panel.
Me.
Hey, thanks for co-hosting. I guess Gigi got kidnapped for a little while too.
I think so.
But,
we can't shut this down without talking a little Astro first. It's your tip.
the Astros, what'd they do? They get beat again today?
No. We won yesterday, 1-0. They broke out that new fella, left-hand bat.
Yeah, I don't know how you can
Meat.
get outscored 29-9.
Dude, they still won two. They won two of 4.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go Tigers.
Boo.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you the bug, sometimes you the windshield. But they, and we were definitely the bug on them 2 games.
Yep.
But but we did beat them 2 out of 4. But they broke out, and he broke out in center field. They gave Jake a rest. He got him a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was good pitching.
Thank God for Hunter Brown. He's pretty good.
Yeah. He shut him down, dude.
Couldn't score shit, but, he pitched good enough to win 1-0.
They just totally got rid of Rogers, huh?
I guess.
I ain't seen him. They ain't let him back up there. I bet he's out there swinging the bat, trying to learn how to hit again.
Well,
all right.
Hang out too.
Thanks for letting me come hanging out, man.
All right, man. Well, I will catch y'all next time. I appreciate everybody showing up. Nate the Great, Mr. Duggar, Crispy just left. I appreciate everybody. See y'all later.
Couldn't get past the baseball.
See y'all next Monday.
Later, bro.